The evidence seems to indicate that you're watching Dolly fishing.
Subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby? Missing shadows crawl. People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly vision headlights, king the beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shouting, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light. Topping up, Dolly visions dreaming real. True crime scene blast feel so unreal. YouTube madness, like, share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby? Missing shadows crawl. People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly vision headlights, king the beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shouting, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light.
What is up, YouTube? I am sorry I am late, guys. I was actually cutting my grass. I'm a little sweaty, a little hot, but I went out there, and usually I can't get my lawnmower to start, okay? So today it started. So I was like, oh, shit. So I jumped on the riding lawnmower, and I cut the grass real fast, started cleaning my yard, and I realized, I was like, damn, I have a stream set up about Jack and Lily, and I wanted to go over some of these things because it's not looking good. It's looking kind of bad. You know, the biological grandmother has came out and talked. We had a caller call in the other night and say she was Michaela's family. He said he was part of Michaela's family, and everything's just not adding up. And a lot of these family members are starting to think these kids are no longer with us. Boy, Mom, where's the babies? Okay, that is the question we were asked in today, and we're going to go over a bunch of that stuff. But I'm telling you now, guys, it's bad. It's not looking good. And I don't know when an arrest is going to come. You know, we've been waiting for over a month. There's a lot of suspicious things going on. There's a lot of inconsistent statements. There's a lot of family members that really don't trust Malaya. I hate to say it. But look, first, make sure you leave your DNA on that like button, okay? Just in case you go missing in the hills of Tennessee or the deep woods of Nova Scotia. Dolly is going to come track your ass down. Also, we're getting close. Well, we're about 800 people away from 69,000. That's a lot of people, okay? That's a little bit more than 68. That's 69. And who don't like a good 69 number, okay? 69 number, all right? So make sure you sub up, ring the bell for notifications. I just came back in the house. The riding lawnmower finally started. So I jumped on that and I rode it like a pony. Okay, PJ? The grass is cut. So I wanted to get it cut while the lawnmower was running. I didn't know if it was going to turn off and I wasn't going to be able to get it back started. So I just went and got it, right? Just go, 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 go. Because one thing I didn't want is our yard to look like Daniel and Malaya's yard, PJ. Okay. We can't have that. We got to have the yard clean. Our flowers are coming in nice and beautifully. The yard got to look good. Okay. So speaking of that, is the grandmother goes into a little bit of that about their house being disheveled, not very clean, not organized, right? And listen, it happens. People's houses get messy. It ain't the end of the world. Sometimes it gets a little messy around here because we don't have a whole lot of time. And then we'll take a day or so and we go through and clean everything up really good. But it ain't like we just constantly cleaning, right? So we usually pick a day. Usually my day to clean is Sunday. Usually on Sundays, I clean up the studio. I pick up. I just don't clean every day. Now, washing clothes, I'm always washing clothes because we got a ton of clothes. So I'm constantly washing clothes and, tinkering in the yard, trying to keep the yard clean, getting the yard cleaned up, building stuff and things like that. So instead of me just telling you what the grandmother said, we're going to watch the grandmother first. Okay. And then we'll go over this a little bit. Let me blow this up for you guys. Let's see. Share entire screen with volume. Okay, here we go. And she has reached out to the channel leaving comments. So we do know the biological grandmother on the father's side does watch the show. So, be respectful of this woman while you're in here because she apparently she's a part of the channel.
I am the grandmother of Lily and Jack. I am the grandmother on the biological father's side. My son is Cody Sullivan. He's not in jail. He's never been arrested.
Thank you, Patty.
He does not have a criminal record. He's and right now he's living with me. He has been for 9 months.
Okay, I want to stop it right there. He's not living out west. He's not been in jail. He don't have a criminal record. Don't that sound a lot different than what we've been hearing? Totally different. We thought this man was some criminal. He was some bad person and all this. And the mother's saying, hey, that's not the case. He don't live out west. He's not in jail. He does live with his mother. Okay. And he hasn't seen the kids in 3 years. Listen, yes, it's not the biological grandmother's fault. She, a relationship is between her son and Malaya, and it didn't work out. That has nothing to do with her. She seems like a really pleasant, nice woman. And I feel so bad for her, because, rumors were she hadn't seen the kids in 3 years, but really it was only like 19 months. So she was in the kid's life and then something changed. Something has changed with Malaya. That is the point that we're trying to get at here. Something has been changing with Malaya and people have been noticing it.
How did you find out that Lily and Jack were missing?
The mom of my grandson called me. We were in town. She asked if I heard the news. She sent me the article that was on Facebook showing the kids missing. I couldn't call Malaya yet, so I waited till we got home. And I called, well, I didn't call her, I texted her. And she told me that, yes, that the kids were missing, that they've been missing since this morning. I was in a state of panic, shock. But in the back of my mind, I kept saying, well, they'll find them. I mean, I'm assuming that they'd find them. So I told her, well, we'll head out first thing in the morning and help with the search. It was around between 3 and 3:30 in the morning. A couple of cop cars pull into the driveway. The lights wake me up that I'm a fairly light sleeper, so I see the cars pull in, so I knew what it was.
She last saw the babies 19 months ago. It's been a while. And she's been living with Daniel for 2 years. Do the math. Soon as she moved in with Daniel, she pretty much cut off the babies to the grandmother. But before that, the grandmother says Malaya did a great job. She would bring the kids over all the time. She seemed happy. She seemed like a great mother. And something has changed. And like I said, we had a family member, alleged family member, okay, call in and say that, you know, Daniel and Malaya were having some domestic situations. They wasn't getting along, that she was on the verge. She wanted to leave. And when you hear this grandmother talk, I guess when Malaya wants to leave, she makes it known that she wants to leave. Okay. Because she went to this grandmother and told her, say, hey, look, me and your son are not working out and I'm going to get out of here. So she's very verbal about the relationship she wants to be in. And I guess this was the same case from what we're hearing with Daniel, that she wanted to get out of this relationship before these children went missing.
So they come inside. They only stood in the kitchen. They wanted me to wake Cody up, and they wanted to know when was the last time he had seen the kids, and that they were just making sure that the kids weren't here. And then
Ron, somebody boot Ron. Okay. This shit would be all over the news in Canada if time them out. Let them be quiet for a minute. That is absolutely, don't come in here saying they found those babies when they ain't found those babies. That would be all over the news. And we don't want that in here. How dare you, man? How dare you? That is how could you come in here and say some stuff like that? When you see there's 800, 900 people that care about these kids, talking about these kids, concerned about these kids, you gonna come in here and say some shit like that with no proof, and it's not on the news. You're horrible. You're a horrible person, Ron. How dare you do some shit like that? That's just terrible. That's just terrible of you. If you need attention, go hug a tree, okay? Don't come in here with some silly shit like that. That is not cool whatsoever. I mean, you're stopping, you're sidetracking our show.
And they left. So we showed up Saturday morning, me and my sister, and we met up with my daughter, and we started, well, I asked Malaya, I said, Malaya, I said, you know your kids. Nobody knows their kids like their mom. Where do your kids normally go to play out in the yard? What direction do they usually like to explore? And she said, well, they always play up in the little woods right on the side. I said, well, okay. I said, we'll start from that point and we'll work our way out. We had spoken to a search and rescue, and we weren't allowed on the other side because that's where they were searching at the time. So we just started combing through the woods up through there. We were gone for a couple of hours. I'm yelling for Lily and Jack. We always call Jack Jackie Boy.
Jackie Boy.
And yeah, that went on for a few hours, but those woods, I started to feel that I can't see them being in the woods. There's trees everywhere. You literally have to climb over trees, climb under bushes. It is.
Okay. Now tell me this ain't bad. This is bad. You sat here and heard the grandmother herself say, them kids are not in those woods. Them kids couldn't climb over them trees. The trees are so thick, you can't even get through them. And the kids are just gone. You know, and she goes into talking about the house and the condition of the yard. And, you know, I said in previous videos, we didn't know the condition of the inside of the house because, you know, we haven't seen the inside of the house. But the grandmother has. She's been in the house, and she says the house is not very clean. And that's like not like Malaya. It's not like her to have a dirty yard, dirty house, any of these things. So what is going on that caused this major change? Is it drugs? Is Malaya under the influence? Is Daniel under the influence? Now, we've talked to people that say Daniel don't do any drugs, but a little bit of smoking and toking, you know, midnight joking, which, you know, in this world today, that is completely acceptable. You know, for years, I smoked, okay? I'm almost clean a year now of no smoking. My brain cells haven't came back yet. They haven't came back yet. But look, I don't look at it, nothing wrong with it. Just like people that drink beer. If you come home and you worked a hard day and you want to relax and you toke one or you pop a beer open, hey, by the end of the day, you've earned that. Okay. You've earned that relaxation. You know what I'm saying? So I don't look down on that. I'm talking, when I say drugs, I'm talking heavy drugs, narcotics. You know, is it pain medicines, prescriptions? Because a lot of people forget that a lot of these doctors that are giving, they're no more than drug dealers. Okay. And if you're taking certain medications that can alter your mind, that's not good. Okay. That's not good. But something in those 19 months with Malaya changed. And listen, people don't just one day they good with you, love you, bringing the kids around, and then the next day, nothing. Okay. And then slowly blowing you off and not, you know, not caring about the other side of the family. Something is wrong inside of that home. And we knew that they were hiding some dirty, dark secrets. Okay. I just like saying it that way. But look, just like you guys are hiding some dirty, dark likes. Y'all ain't hit the like button on this video. I seen somebody say we got 300 likes and we got over 1,000 people. Could be depression. Suzanne, you're absolutely right. We got over 1,000 people in the chat room. Let's get those damn likes up so the algorithm picks us up. More, listen, guys, this case is not getting a lot of press. It's not getting a lot of press, and it's definitely not getting no press in America. The only press this is getting is from YouTubers. So when you see YouTubers talking about it, definitely hit that like button. Let's try to get it into the algorithm just in case these kids are out there somewhere. It's very important. So definitely hit that dirty, dark like button, okay? Even if you hate my face. Even if you hate my face, just like the video. I'll forgive you for hating me later, all right?
It's really, really sick. We come back out, and I went in to see Malay again. I assumed she was in shock. She was very, very non-emotional.
Not
Very just
emotional.
flat, monotone.
She
But Malay is very soft-spoken anyway. That she's not.
soft-spoken and emotionless, though. Let me explain this. Is two different things. Okay, I'm loud, crazy, right? And some people are just real smooth and chill, relaxed. But that don't mean they're emotionless. Just because you're soft-spoken don't mean you ain't supposed to cry. You're not supposed to be upset. Maybe you won't be as loud and cry, right? But you know, no emotion is one of those signs of a damn serial killer, right? Because every human is supposed to have the normal emotions, and we haven't seen much of that from Malaya, especially with the fact that she's lawyered up. She's ran to her mother's. She's never went out and searched for her kids. Now, listen, I got a lot of mothers in this room. I got a lot of grandmothers in this room. And I know you guys say, hey, y'all would never act like that. Y'all would never do that. You couldn't abandon your kid like that. Yeah. Around here, we call it Joe Dirtin, right? It's when you basically just pack up and leave your kid and you don't care. Now, I don't know what Malaya is doing behind the closed doors, right? She could be upset. She could be up crying. The only thing I'm speaking on is what we see publicly, okay? And let me give my warnings. Dolly Vision's for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories, mixed with a little bit of comedy and a whole lot of chaos. So don't take nothing here as fact. It's just my opinion, people. Completely satire. Everyone is innocent to proven. No, wait, everyone's guilty to proven innocent on YouTube, but everyone is innocent until proven guilty in the court of law, okay? YouTube's a little bit opposite. Your ass is guilty here until you're proven innocent. And, of course, the biggest one of them all is don't try to be Dolly at home. You'll end up having to cut this big-ass yard I got in 100-degree weather, and it sucked, okay? So let's keep this going.
Not usually excitable. I thought that's made her a really great mom. She was an excellent mom. She never raised her kid or voice at the kids. That it was always, now Lily.
Could we use your house to trial our 24-hour bathroom upgrade system?
No, you can't.
And I used to think, now if anybody's meant to be a mom, it was her. A part of me still feels that.
Why only a part of you still feels that? What do you mean?
After seeing the place, seeing the condition of the home, it was like the total opposite of what I knew of Malaya. She was always clean, very clean about herself, about the kids, about her home. This home looked more like a camp.
Like a
Now, I don't
camp.
know
Damn.
from all the people that were there because I didn't show up till the day after, but it was very unkempt. I was pretty surprised.
Now, listen, this woman has no reason whatsoever to lie.
Karen Reed verdict, think is in.
You think the Karen Reed verdict is in? Okay, guys, we got to jump to something real quick. I'm sorry to do this, but I promise you I will get right back to this. I promise you. There's no way I'm missing this. There's no way I'm missing the Karen Reed verdict. Okay, it says we'll be right back. Watch verdict. Jury is back deliberating the fate of Karen Reed. Okay, if that comes up, PJ, let me know, and we're gonna jump over to the verdict, guys. Don't leave. We're gonna continue to tell the story. It won't take but a minute to find out what happens with Karen Reed, unconfirmed. Okay, just let me know, chat room. I've been following the Karen Reed case, you know, and if you're not familiar, guys, from Canada and around the country, around the world, Karen Reed backed over her boyfriend, John O'Keefe, which was a Boston police officer. And the jury has been out for the last, what are we on, day 3? And she has been charged with second-degree murder, DUI in the commission of somebody killing somebody, which is manslaughter, and leaving the scene of an accident. This is a retrial. She was tried, and it was ended up in a hung jury. And it looks like they're coming back with a verdict this time. So this is, everybody's been on their edge of their seats. Court TV, everybody's been talking about this case. This is like the most hugest thing right this second going on in true crime. And I hate to interrupt our show on Jack and Lily, these two beautiful little kids, to figure out what's going on with Karen Reed. But this is my prediction, guys. DUI, manslaughter. There's definitely a verdict. Verdict is guilty. It ain't went to a verdict yet. I got Court TV pulled up right here, and it's showing the fan. Clock stopped at 21 hours, 17 seconds. There is a verdict in the Karen Reed case, okay? Listen, guys, we got to do this. I'm sorry for all my Jack and Lily people out there that don't know nothing about this case to interrupt the show with this. But this is major in me and PJ's world. And, you know, took a lot of trips to Boston in support of John O'Keefe. And we're just praying to God. Listen, if you're in here with me and you a good human being, say a little prayer with me. Please, God, let them convict this woman. Okay, please. And I know some of you disagree with me, right? Some of you guys are going to disagree with me and think she's innocent, but I don't. I actually said a prayer last night that Karen Reed would be convicted. And I'm just praying, please, God, hear my prayers. Hear my prayers. Let this woman pay the price. Let this family have some justice, right? If you praying with me, throw your little prayer hands in the group. Okay, throw your little prayer hands in the group. You about to see Dolly. If this goes the way I want it to go, I'm about to do some celebrating. I'll give some shit away. Okay, I'll give away some t-shirts, some soaps, some lotions. Right, just pray with me, please, Jesus. Please come back, good people. Right, there's a lot of brainwashing going on. There's so much misinformation in this case. Oh my God, I am so nervous. I am so nervous. You would think I'm about to go to prison, right? Oh man, please let this lady go to jail. Please, please, please. Justice needs to be served. And for you guys out there, you pray for Karen Reed. Okay. If you believe she's innocent, you pray for her. If you believe she's guilty, pray for justice. Okay. Mike, I see Mike says Karen's innocent. Okay, I respect your opinion, Mike. Okay, I respect your opinion. Some people do believe she's innocent. It's just not me. Okay, it's just not me. Please, God, please let her go to jail. It's something about buying your freedom in this world to me that because I'm a common person, which means I'm broke. Okay, I'm just like a lot of you guys out here. broke. Okay. Paycheck to paycheck kind of guy. And this lady, it walks in with her $3,000 suits on, signing autographs, and she's killed a police officer drunk. And I come from an era where drinking and driving is really bad. Okay. And now people are glorifying someone who has been drinking and driving and possibly ran somebody over. And it's hard to see, right? Just because I come from the, Mothers Against Drunk Driver era, DARE, keep kids off drugs. Don't be drinking and driving. Let's save lives and not destroy them, right? I came up in the Ronald Reagan, Nancy Reagan era where that was important. That was important. That was priority to the world, right? And now it don't seem to be so much. Now it's bingo moms for getting sloshed. It's weird to me. And so I'm just praying. I'm just praying to little baby Jesus or whatever God you pray to, Allah. I don't care, to Buddhist monk. Just throw that prayer in there. And if you don't even know who Karen Reed is, do it for me. Okay. Do it for me. Be like, this prayer is for Dolly. He wants this really bad. Okay. No driving while DUI. Yes. People make mistakes and I can understand it. It happens. You got to learn from those mistakes, correct those mistakes. It's dangerous. You could hurt yourself or hurt someone else. Right. And most of the time that people drink and drive, they don't kill anybody. But the possibility is there, and we have to learn from people that have that. Hey, let's don't do this. Let's don't do this. So, what's taking so long? Are they waiting for Karen Reed and everybody to get back in the courtroom? It's kind of sidetracking the show a little bit, but I'm sorry, guys. We have to do it. We had to do it. Good to hear. She'll be safe. Justin Timberlake has left the chat. Was Justin Timberlake here? We do hang out in the same areas, me and Justin Timberlake. Okay. You got to remember he recorded most of his music here in Virginia Beach with Timberland, You good, Dolly. Okay. Thank you, Patty. Long as Patty says I'm okay. That's all that matters. Everybody cross their damn fingers. Okay. Cross your fingers. Hold on in your seats. Prayers for justice for John O'Keefe. I think a lot of people forget there's so many people out there supporting Karen Reed that they forget this is about John O'Keefe. Deep breath, Dolly. I don't want to kick nothing. I don't want to break nothing. Let me move anything that is valuable out the way. Okay. Just let me do a little movement. So when they let this lady go, I don't tear up none of my own stuff, okay? Or anything valuable, right? Because I want to see this lady go to prison. And I don't want to break nothing of mine, okay? Because sometimes I lose it. You know what I'm saying? I lose it and I start kicking shit. I got a temper. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I think it's just a reaction of shock, okay? Free Karen Reed. Okay, free Karen Reed, people. Listen, I still love all you guys the same, right? I know everybody in this world has difference in opinions, but we finally going to get to find out what the answer is today so we can stop fighting about it, okay? Fingers crossed, guys. All my Dolly people, fingers crossed, right? Come on. I done went to Boston 4 different times covering this case, and listen, nothing against the people in Boston. I think Boston is a beautiful place. I love it in Boston. I think people are laid back and chill. I think the people are good. The majority of people. Some people got a lot of misinformation and they're kind of brainwashed and by different YouTubers and things like that. But I think the people of Boston are great. Even the ones that are out there supporting Karen Reed, I believe y'all are good people. I pick on y'all a lot and I talk shit to you. I try to get y'all angry as much as I can. But it's just to keep your blood moving. Okay. When you get a little pissed off and a little triggered, it gets your blood pumping, right? I'm just trying to keep you alive. Okay. I'm just trying to keep you alive. We're going to find out though. We're going to find out. I'm ready. I've been waiting and waiting. I didn't think this was going to come back today. I thought they were going to be a hung jury. I honestly did. Okay. I honestly thought there was going to be a hung jury today. Hey, I made it to Dolly. Lady Justice, please speak today. I forgot what she's being accused of. My bad. Well, a lot of my viewers here, we look for missing people and missing kids and, you know, just search for people. We don't really cover a lot of court cases. But lately, over the last year or year and a half or so, I've started to cover more court cases. And, you know, going to court cases, not just covering them, but going to court cases. You know, I will be at Stephen Stern's trial this summer in Florida, and I will most likely be at Brian Kohlberger in Idaho live.
Praying for guilty. Choo choo.
Okay, Katie. Thanks for praying with me, right? But whatever it is, they've come to a decision. And I tell you now, whatever decision is, I will respect that decision. Now, I think Karen Reed supporters, if that comes back guilty, they're going to say it's a corrupt system. Okay, because they've been screaming corruption this whole time, right? But everybody ain't corrupt. Like I said, the police in Boston, we had a run-in with them. The same people that believe the police are corrupt ran and told the police on me. And the police came up to us, and they were super respectful, super nice. These are the same police officers that help you cross the street. But soon as, you know, these police that they say are corrupt, when Dolly pulls up, they run.
I love the spontaneous of this channel. Much love.
Thank you.
Heart emoji.
Thank you, Ani Sherry. Well, this is important to a lot of us. Not everybody, but some of us here, this is super important too.
Yeah.
And so when I pull up, they think I'm there to cause trouble. So they run to the corrupt police and tell them Dolly is here with his whole razzle dazzle shit. Okay. Because that's all I said to him, razzle dazzle. And we got a new razzle dazzle soap coming out, right, on our merch store. And it smells like raspberries, but we call it razzle dazzle. So if you want to get some of the new soap, limited supply, right, the razzle dazzle soap. PJ, did you get the razzle dazzle on the site yet? Right. So we have a new soap, and it's called razzle dazzle because, listen, you know, razzle dazzle seems to trigger people. Okay, it seems to trigger people. And if you don't know what razzle dazzle is from, there's a woman by the name of Tell Us a Business, right? PJ ain't got it on the site yet, but we'll have it up there later tonight, probably. There's a lady named by the name of Tell Us a Business, and every time she goes to court, she attacks her attorney, right? They got her chained up like Hannibal Lecter in the courtroom, all right? But when she attacked the lawyer, she screamed something out, like right before she attacked the lawyer. We were never sure what she screamed. It was either razzle dazzle or WrestleMania. We're not sure. We're not sure which one it was. But she screamed something. She was like, right? Or right? I'm not sure. She could have screamed, "Where's the baby?" I don't know. But it was some Tourette's type shit. And ever since then, it has been a joke on this channel about the razzle dazzle. So when I go to Boston, I'm driving past the Karen Reed supporters and I scream out the window, razzle dazzle. Nothing else. Not for, you know, F Karen Reed, not nothing. I just scream razzle dazzle. I know it's stupid, right? It's so stupid. But this shit triggers these people. Right? It triggers them. And this lady got all mad. She's like, I ain't scared of his fucking razzle dazzle. Right? And she tells the police on me, and you can hear her talking about the razzle dazzle. Razzle dazzle, forget razzle dazzle. Right? But it was enough to trigger all the Karen Reed supporters, right? It was harmless, right? It's just a harmless razzle dazzle, right? I guess they thought I was throwing a voodoo hex on them. Okay, Mike? Mike, what do you think about the word razzle dazzle? Does that trigger you? Okay. Mike's a Karen Reed supporter, right? Free Karen. Would razzle dazzle trigger you? That's what I want to know. So I know these people are easily triggered, right? Listen, y'all probably great people. Mike's probably a good dude. right? Dolly done razzle dazzled me. Well, yeah, I hit them with the razzle dazzle, and they didn't know what to do. Right? They didn't know what to do. They were confused. The last thing you want to do is confuse somebody that's already brainwashed. Okay, I'm playing. Now I want some razzle dazzle candles. There you go. Right. So, you know, me and PJ go up there, and like I said, they told the police on us, but they already said the police are corrupt. Right, so why are they going to run tell the corrupt police force on Dolly? They plan on getting me beat with batons, pow, upside the head by some bad Boston police. Next thing you know, I'm laid in the front yard dead somewhere. How dare you, Karen Reed supporters? How dare you, okay? You see a lot of pink shirts in the crowd? My stomach hurts. I'm telling the truth. You can't even make this up. And listen, guys, if you ever think about going to Plymouth Rock, don't do it. It's like a pebble. They should call that shit Plymouth Pebble. Okay. We drove 2 hours from Kent in Boston, right? To Plymouth Rock. And we get there and it's literally what the name is. It's a fucking rock. It's a little rock. It ain't a boulder. It's a small, it ain't little like you could throw it. But it is damn little. I'm going to save you some time and I'm going to save you some money. Skip the pilgrim trip, right? Plymouth Rock ain't what it's made out to be. You know, I'm thinking Plymouth Rock, they came out on some gigantic rock and, you know, because they made a big deal about it when I was in school. Plymouth Rock, right? The founding fathers, Plymouth Rock. You get there and it's a fucking little rock in a cage in the ground. You can't touch the rock. You can't take selfies with the rock. Nothing. Okay. The rock didn't even do the people's eyebrow. Nothing. Okay. Play the link I sent you. Okay. I will do that. I will do that. Give me 1 second.
Would it be okay if we interviewed you? And so that was our plan to do so. That being before state police told us we could not be in the roadway. You see, she's got her hands folded there. We wanted to speak with Cheryl, who's also here with her sister and other family members, because I think the images that you see right now convey the emotion that so many people have here. I said, Cheryl, is it okay if we talk to you? You see, she's flashing a smile now. She said, sure, it's fine. I may cry, but we're happy to talk to you. So there is this anticipation, but there is a sense of calm. I think another part of the story that we'd like to tell is,
what are these people kin to Ronnie James Dio? What's with the devil horns? Slayer. I feel like I'm at a Slayer concert. Woo! Slayer. Okay, Sissy, thank you so much.
Oh, yeah.
Do they realize they're throwing up the devil horns? Do they realize that? Because you know me, I used to sing in a metal band and Satan. Okay, Satan. Why are they throwing up the devil signs, right? I mean, I understand Karen Reed is the devil, but what the hell is Ronnie James Dio in court? What is going on? Is this a Slayer concert? Is Metallica going to come out on the steps of the fucking courthouse and start jamming? What is going on with people in pink shirts throwing up the devil horns? All right. That is crazy to me. That is crazy to me. I can see if they threw up the hang loose. You know what I'm saying? Peace signs. We need peace. But they're out there like, yeah, boy, Motley Crue, Dr. Feel Good. Okay. It's insane.
Verdict is that they will continue with. So their fight, no matter the verdict in this, it appears like that will continue. We'll see how emotions are handled because it has been 3.5 years. And we know this time, or we believe there's a verdict. They have said they have a verdict, but Glenn, as you pointed out, they handed in a verdict slip just an hour ago that they had a verdict and pulled it back. So we're on our understanding.
Rock in the orange jumpsuit, right?
That's going to be delivered. Karen Reed waiting to hear what her fate is. 3 charges, and we'll have to hear whether or not 12 jurors came to a conclusion on those 3 charges. We are now going live to the courtroom.
Oh, let's do it! Come on, Jesus. Come on, Jesus.
Will the deliberating jurors remain standing? Defendant remain standing? All other parties may be seated.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that 12 deliberating jurors and 6 alternates are present.
Yes.
Fair and quiet?
Yes.
DUI manslaughter.
Agreed upon a verdict. Yes. Thank you. May I see the papers?
DUI manslaughter. DUI manslaughter.
Envelope and they've been in your presence ever since.
Let's do it. Please, Jesus. Come on, Jesus. Jesus. Guilty. DUI manslaughter.
Mr. Foreman, on docket number 2282CR117001, murder in the second degree, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar guilty or not guilty? Not guilty. So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you?
Not guilty.
Do you agree? Yes. Do all of you agree? Yes. Thank you.
Not guilty on second.
What say is the defendant at the bar not guilty or guilty? Not guilty. Is not guilty or guilty of that charge or any lesser included charge? Thank you. Specifically, number 5, operating under the influence of liquor by operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or greater. Correct? Yes. So say you, Mr. Foreman?
Guilty.
003. What say is the defendant at the bar leaving the scene after accident resulting in death? Is the defendant not guilty or guilty? So say you, Mr. Foreman?
You can hear him screaming outside.
Jurors, hearken your verdict as the court records it. You, upon your oath, say the defendant on 001 is not guilty, on 002 is guilty of operating under the influence of liquor, and 003 not guilty. Thank you.
All right, jurors, everybody please be seated. Jurors, we thank you for your service. We're going to send you back to services complete.
Not guilty. No, DUI.
All rise.
She got DUI.
Defendant Karen Reed has been acquitted in the murder of her boyfriend, John O'Keefe. Karen Reed has been acquitted in
Just
the
shows
murder
what
of her
money can do in a
boyfriend,
trial.
John O'Keefe. However, this jury found that she is responsible, that she is guilty for one of the lesser included offenses, and that offense is operating a motor vehicle under the influence of liquor. Let's listen in again.
Found not guilty will be sealed by the Commissioner of Probation. By the
Wow.
unless you notify the
System
Commissioner of
failed.
Probation in writing within 10 days that you do not want these records sealed. To request that
She's gonna celebrate with a stiff drink.
The request not to seal form, which is posted on the trial court's website on mass.gov. I cannot accept the form here in court. You must submit it to the Commissioner of Probation at the address provided on the form. Please be aware that if the records regarding the charges which you have been found not guilty are sealed, you will be unable to access the sealed record of the not guilty dispositions or any other records regarding those charges. If you want copies of any documents regarding those charges before the records are sealed, you should request copies from the court within 10 days. Do you understand? Thank you.
All right, so we need a date for sentencing. Can we do it next week?
We would be prepared to go forward today.
Okay. Okay.
They want to do it today? I mean, what does DUI carry? 20 days?
They're looking to set a date for sentencing. Prosecution says they are prepared to move forward today. I think the most startling part after we heard the verdict was the volume of the cheers that you could hear right
You could hear it very
inside
clearly.
the courtroom.
Very clearly, you could hear those cheers. And sentencing, as you mentioned, JC, would be the next step. It probably will happen today. We know from our own research that the offense could be punished up to 2.5 years, but that is very rare for a first offense. Probation is more likely for a first offense, so we'll have to see what the sentencing is ultimately. Looks like there are some things getting worked out inside the courtroom. Let's listen in again.
So the standard that everybody else gets on a first-time OUI?
Certainly.
Okay.
We ask that you be treated no differently, no better.
So I'm happy to do it. All right. Thank you all.
1 year probation, 1 year probation on docket number 002, the lesser included offense of operating under the influence. 1 year probation. Thank you. The 24D program. Thank you.
All right.
Goodbye.
That's it. You heard she's getting what a typical first-time offender would get for OUI, which she is getting 1 year probation. We don't know if there will be a fine. That's the paperwork that has been done. But we can point out here the prosecution didn't fight for more. Judge Canoni had some latitude there. She could have given her up to 2.5 years in prison. It's uncommon, especially for a first time, but that the prosecution could have asked for that, and they didn't. The fine is anywhere from $500 to $5,000, and then there's usually alcohol education programs that go along with it. But as you can see, this is a win for the defense team, and that there you see Karen crying and she's hugging her friends and her family. We saw tears in Yanetti's eyes, one of the defense attorneys. We saw defense attorney Jackson hugging the attorney Little, who is there. This is 3.5 years of emotion that is just starting to, I would assume, start to leave their bodies within
Thanks
the
for
courtroom and then
covering both
outside the
cases,
courtroom.
Dolly
Again,
and
the cheers
PJ. Folded
that came
hands
down.
emoji,
What we'll
heart with
look
ribbon
to Sue
emoji.
O'Connell for later is, if you notice, the side where John O'Keefe's family sits, the side where his supporters sit, is empty. And so how they reacted to this, we do not know. But there you can see live pictures of, there you see Mr. and Mrs. O'Keefe and Karen standing right in front of them in that light blue suit. And she is allowed to leave. She is a free woman. She is on probation, but she's free.
Yes, you know, she was, of course, found guilty of OUI, but this is unequivocally a win for the defense. After 2 trials, 3.5 years, 2 trials that took about 8 weeks to complete, this defendant is leaving guilty only of OUI and not the more serious charges that she was facing. We could hear the crowds outside when the verdict was read. So let's go now to Melanie Mendez, who's been outside near those crowds. Melanie, what was that moment like?
You guys, the crowds have been going wild, and it's really interesting because it goes up and down depending on who's walking out. So right now you're seeing the media walked out and they went nuts. Our Sue O'Connell walked out. Now you see reporters from the other stations, national reporters, and they went crazy. Now walking out right now are members of Karen Reed's team walking out to this screaming Turtle Boy. As you can imagine, when he walked out, there was an absolute uproar from the crowd. Folks on the Reed team pumping their fists. We haven't seen her main legal team quite yet. And I do want to point out that we saw the O'Keefe family go in the side ramp. My guess is we will not see them coming out. My guess is they will be allowed to go out through a different point of egress. But you can hear them chanting "Free Karen Reed," and they've been in and out of these chants, but it's been really interesting, you guys. This crowd is just amped. Can you hear them? Yeah, let's listen in for just a second. You guys, the only thing I can equate this to is a concert. I have to say, as soon as Turtle Boy walked out of the doors of that courthouse, this crowd went crazy. Arms flew up, and it was incredibly loud. I turned around. There's a group of attorneys that were standing on the street. And
it's over now.
And I said, Turtle Boy, and they said, oh, that makes sense. Of course, he is the online blogger who has been largely at the center of the reporting of this case, at least in the beginning stages, and has continued to do so. Many of the followers here point to him as the reason this case got all of the attention it did.
Well, no, technically not guilty. She was guilty of the DUI. So she's guilty. She still has to go to court. She still faces jail time, right? Which it won't be much. But it is what it is. Okay. I'm glad I'm overhearing about Karen Reed. I'm glad it's over.
A really emotional moment between her and David Yannetti, an emotional moment between her and Robert Alessi.
She has to deal with God.
Local guy, but
another OJ bought her freedom.
By Alessi having jumped in from New York to help her case. I believe the 2 of the interns got applause as well as they were walking out. And now I'm going to just get up on this chair so I can see. Just give me a second.
1 year probation.
Oh, now they're all right. So now they're chanting for other supporters of Karen Reed who were in the courtroom with her. They've just been allowed to get back into the crowd here. You can see the court officers, too, standing at attention at the steps of the courthouse. So what happens now, guys, and we've seen this for the last 8 weeks play out. You see the main shot on your screen right now, those officers, right behind them, right behind those
Mike got his devil horns up.
Detectors, and right behind those metal detectors is where the Reed team will kind of stand. They congregate right there behind the metal detectors. They wait until, to this point, they've been waiting until, you know, their cars were ready and pulled up. They all kind of gather there. They get their bearings about them. And then once they all agree, then they walk out of the doors. The court officers will make a pathway for them, and they walk out. Obviously, when they walk out today, the reception will be unlike anything we've seen thus far, because thus far the supporters have been very quiet, holding up the I love you sign in ASL. I would imagine it's going to get very noisy. We're seeing people, not only the choppers overhead, but we're seeing people running in from all directions to see if they can catch Karen Read as she walks out of the courtroom right now. We're just seeing a family running up from High Street. And you can see the court officers basically waiting for that moment where she walks
1 year
out.
probation.
Police on high alert. The local officer who's been out here for the better part of 8 weeks with us nearly every day.
It'll get old quick. Karen Read will be faded into oblivion.
It's finally over. Which I think is how a lot of folks are feeling out here right now. Certainly folks who work in this courthouse. I've had a chance to talk to so many of them and get to know so many of them over the last few months. And while they understood the gravity of what was happening, they were also keenly aware of the toll it was taking, right?
She beat the odds. She beat the odds.
And I do want to mention that
money buys your freedom. Absolutely.
Talking back and forth with a friend of the O'Keefe family, saying that, listen, this is not an easy moment for the family, but they are just hoping to find justice for John O'Keefe, and we cannot.
I thought the system was corrupt.
Of all of this, a life was lost. So while we do focus on this wild reaction and this,
she can't go long without drinking. She'll be out partying tonight.
Every once in a while, just pause and remember why we are all here, and that is ultimately an innocent life was lost, and so that shouldn't be overlooked. But I do think we're going to see any moment now Karen Read and her legal team, and let's go through some of the players, guys, and feel free to interrupt me at any point.
Karen did it. There ain't nobody to blame but her.
Of course, we have Alan Jackson.
She just got away with it.
Hotshot Hollywood attorney, represented Kevin Spacey. He was a prosecutor in LA for years and then became a defense attorney. And David Yannetti.
Yeah, let's get those likes up.
The local Boston attorney, when he was hired by Karen Read, reached out to Karen Read herself, and David Yannetti reached out to Alan Jackson. Alan Jackson decided to take on their case. You'll see Robert Alessi. He's the gentleman with the dark black hair and the glasses. Alessi is from New York.
This don't mean he died in the house, Woody.
We'll also see Elizabeth Little. She is from Alan Jackson's firm out in LA.
This means Karen got away with it.
Often, you'll see her. She's dirty blonde hair with bangs. She will come out with them as well. You might see Victoria George.
Got away with murder.
From the last trial, who decided to help pro bono, joined the Karen Read team as well. She's been in and out. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, I don't have no problem saying my prediction was wrong. She got away with murder. Okay, it don't mean she didn't do it. It just means that she didn't get convicted. So yeah, was I wrong thinking she was gonna get convicted? Yeah, I guess the jury's a bunch of fucking idiots. All right, they didn't even know how to read. Right, they were asking the judge, "Can we do this? Can't do that?" And it's just all brainwashing. They should have moved this trial somewhere else, and the jury shouldn't have been able to leave so they could go watch the news and podcasts and blogs and shit like that. All she did was get away with murder. That's it. She bought her freedom, and that's what's wrong with our justice system now. Is people can buy OJ did it. Okay, is OJ innocent? Just like Karen Read ain't innocent.
An off ramp, and it seems this jury took it.
Yeah, but what does that say about what they were really struggling with? Because if I see it as a strategy. I understand that based on what you were saying.
OJ, Casey Anthony, now Karen Read.
But it sounds also like we had to give them something. The jurors had to find her guilty of something, so we're going to put OUI on there, which by our legal team that we've spoken to,
they found her not guilty, guilty of DUI.
For Karen Read and her team, it is the least of all the charges. It is a 1-year probation. It is a small fine. She might have to take out alcohol education classes. When you compare that,
money talks. I agree.
Or murder in the second degree, there is no comparison.
You're absolutely right.
I don't know if she meant to do it, but she did it.
Avoid getting hung on one of the charges, and this seems to have avoided that. We'll get more legal analysis on that later, but for now, let's go to NBC 10's Malcolm Johnson, who's also on the ground outside the courthouse. Malcolm.
Yeah, Glenn, we want to continue to give you a feeling of what it's like here.
If I was her, I'd move, because all them cops are going to be out to get her.
Concert, I'd say it does feel that way when you listen to the raucous applause that you get from the crowd members here, and you see the woman there who's holding and swinging the American flag back and forth. Some people have decided to climb on top of the columns of these public buildings here in town. It looks like a team has won a championship. These are scenes that you'll see after, I don't know, maybe your Boston Celtics were to have won the
Oh no, it'd be way
season
more
ago.
people. It'd be way more people.
You know, if you come over this way, again, we think there's some more than 500 people that have made their way here into the crowd. And Anthony, who's our photographer on the day, will come over here. You know, we've been talking to different people about their different emotions and how they're feeling, what it's been like, not just through the first trial, but through the second trial as well. There's a woman here, Cheryl, if you don't mind. Sorry, don't mean to scare you. You know, we saw you how emotional you were earlier. You were praying. What has this process been like for you?
To know that there's some justice. There really is some justice, and to know that Karen's free. She doesn't have to go do this again. We feel bad for the O'Keefe family.
Yeah, karma will get her eventually. Money talks and bullshit walks. That is true.
Now they can find out what happened to their son. So justice was served today, and thank God.
Why has this been so emotional for you and so many others?
Because this could be any one of us. We're all Karen Reed. This could be any one of us. And if you didn't have the kind of funds that she had to get yourself out of this, where would we be? In jail. We would all be in jail.
Yes, there's a civil suit against her. And that DUI is going to help her in the civil suit. Remember, OJ was acquitted, and then he was sued for millions in the civil suit. Now, you got to remember, she's been found guilty of the DUI. That's only going to help the O'Keefes in the civil suit. They're coming after everything she got for the rest of her life. So everybody thinks these book deals and these movie deals, they're coming after that money. You can believe that.
They lost a son, but she didn't do it. She didn't do it. So you know what? God bless Karen Reed. She's free. McAlbert's, try again. Try again.
What does justice look like for the O'Keefe family through your eyes?
Justice, because their son got murdered and they don't know who did it. Karen's free. She didn't do it. You have all these guilty, corrupt police.
She said she did it. She hit him. She hit him. She hit him.
You know what I mean? So they're not going to get justice. They probably do believe Karen did it, but she didn't do it. Look, she got proved innocent. She didn't do it. And I feel bad. But you know what? She's free. Karen Reed's free. She didn't do it. Sorry.
Are there things that you would like to hear from her today in the press conference that's forthcoming?
I just want to see Karen smile. I want to see her parents smile. I just want to just live her life, be able to walk the streets and just live. You know what I mean? She didn't even get to mourn John's death.
She didn't care. She never shed a tear.
And you know what I said, and I meant it, and every day, John O'Keefe set Karen Reed free himself. Amen.
Thank you for your time. Yeah. So if we swivel over this way, we'll continue to show you what things look like here. Again, this is some of the different vehicles that have come by that are likely for Karen Reed's legal team. We have seen them enter and exit in and out of these trucks and make their way into the courthouse over the last several days and weeks, for that matter. We are still waiting for a press conference to take place here. It doesn't seem that much of anybody has left. As we continue to look at how big the crowds are here, folks are standing by. I think they are waiting to find out what is.
She got 1 year probation.
Conference. I think after you go through something like this, if you are a supporter, you want to see it through. And so, yes, we do have a verdict here, but I think they're anticipating what it is that Karen is going to be saying and that of her legal team.
I'm just glad we ain't got to look at this bitch's face anymore.
But the feelings, very much like Melody said, that of a concert or a championship had been won just outside of this courthouse.
Now we don't got to hear these Karen Reed simps every day. Good. Look, thank God. Okay. I was ready to let her go.
To take place, but we have heard chants of free Karen. Karen is free. And those singing the Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah, she got off.
Here outside of the.
They found her not guilty of manslaughter, not guilty of second-degree murder. They found her guilty of DUI. That's the one I thought they should have let her go on, to be honest. She never got pulled, but it is what it is. What are they going to talk about now, Dolly, on all the pro Karen Reed channels? Well, they'll talk about this for a week, and then Karen Reed will fade off into oblivion, just like these YouTubers that talk about her. Now that they don't have nothing to milk, they're done. Okay, that's it. They'll go back to trying to be true crimers. I don't know.
For Karen Reed and the defense team, I'm sure they're gathering themselves, We saw David Yannetti, one of her defense attorneys, with some tears in his eyes. But let's go to someone who was right there at the moment. We have our courtroom insider, Sue O'Connell, who can better describe what that moment was like than any of us.
Oh, no, I didn't want her off, Melissa, for sure. I wanted her fucking fried, nailed to the cross. But that didn't happen. What do you think? I'm going to cry over it? No, I'm glad it's over. More than I'm glad it's over. Let's fucking y'all go cry. We don't got to hear you fucking free Karen Reed people anymore. So bye. What are you doing here? It's done. Your story's over with. Last chapter closed. Book is done. Thank Lord. Thank the Jesus.
The Karen Reed team and friends and family waiting. The O'Keefes had not entered the courtroom yet. There was a lot of nervous energy, a lot of hugging. Karen hugged Alessi, Attorney Alessi.
Yeah, I want to hear what she says.
And then when David Yannetti walked into the courtroom before the judges here and before the jury came back,
I feel for John O'Keefe's mother and father. Yes.
Attorney Little hugged him. So all of that pent up energy waiting to see what the verdict would be. And then, of course, it's always so weirdly anticlimactic and a little clumsy because it's not a television show, it's real life. And the foreman said sure at one point when he was asked to affirm the verdict as it was read. And it got so loud outside here, outside the courthouse on the street, which we're all seeing here, that as the verdicts were being read, we really couldn't hear them.
I hope you get off. Nah, I would have convicted her.
Not guilty except for the charge on the OUI.
She will always be a killer to me, like Casey Anthony, OJ, all the other people that have bought their freedom. Let me tell you this. If this was us, we'd be going to prison. This lady wouldn't piss on you if you was on fire. She don't care about none of these people. She cares about her freedom. She cares about going to get drunk in her little $3,000 outfits. You're not on this lady's level. This lady don't relate to none of you guys. Y'all back the woman that don't give a shit. And that's just facts. You know what I'm saying? She thinks she's way above every one of her supporters.
Somehow to get over here. But as Malcolm has been reporting, folks are singing the national anthem. Folks, I've talked to a couple of folks who wanted to make sure that John O'Keefe is remembered in this. And one person stopped me as I was trying to climb the wall to get up here to say that this could turn into some political action about police oversight. So we'll see what else we have in store. JC, Glenn?
Sue, could you actually see the O'Keefe family at the vantage point you had? I know you mentioned they kind of left the courthouse quickly, and I would expect that, but could you see their reaction when the verdict was read?
No, I couldn't, Glenn. I was behind them. I did see them as they were walking out of the courtroom, but I will say that since the first question, the questions came from the jury yesterday, they definitely have felt a very heavy energy on them.
That woman left him there to die.
Many experts have been saying, and the ones that we've certainly talked about
she got convicted of DUI. She got off of the manslaughter and second-degree murder. So, but they found her guilty of being a drunk. So she's on probation. And if I was her, I'd move out that state because, every police is out to get her ass.
Been talking about that. You can understand why anyone who was there to support John O'Keefe's memory would start to feel their heart sink when those questions came in, knowing that it sounded similar that
she's going home and open a bottle of Tito's.
Again, be a hung jury, and they'd possibly have to do this again, or it would just hang out there that we don't know. When it was said that it was, because it was a little muddled, Sue, when they were trying, much like the verdict slip, where there was so much confusion on that second charge, even when announcing the verdict in court, it was a little messy in terms of they said not guilty, and then the court officer had to ask specifically, well, wait a minute, what about the...
She got to get that house out of her name because there's that civil suit coming, right? Because she's been found guilty of the DUI, and they're going to hit her with a wrongful death suit, which just like they did OJ. It's the same playbook. Dolly, don't drink the Kool-Aid. I'm not. To me, she'll always be a killer, just like Casey Anthony is a killer, just like OJ is a killer. She's just a killer that bought her freedom. If you got millions of dollars, you can buy your way out of trouble. That's just as simple as that.
Just a thought. But yes, it was finally like that. OUI was the final part of it. And I'll say the jurors' reactions. I mean, we have to give our great thanks to these jurors and the alternates. They look tired. They look stressed. A couple of the jurors more on the older side. Remember, this is a young jury. I don't think anybody was over 50. Two of the women on the jury who had taken a lot of notes, they looked emotional and sad. And one juror was smiling and the others just looked completely relieved. So remember, they had a heavy burden to carry in this, and they're just citizens like you and me. Glenn and JC?
You know, we talked a little bit about this last night on Canton Confidential.
In jail tonight
If
after
this
being
was the
charged with
result in
child
this trial, the
abandonment.
second of
3-year-old
two,
Claire Bell
that
hasn't
there was
seen since Sunday.
potentially be some political fallout for all of this. You know, somebody had to make the decision to try this case twice, and now I think you could say they've lost them both.
Glenn, listen, there's more to this than just the trials. There have been investigations, ongoing investigations, state police investigations, and FBI investigations. There have been millions of dollars spent on in trying to recreate what happened to John O'Keefe, whether he was hit by a car or not. State funds, all of these state
Not guilty. The verdict.
All of this money that was spent on this case, as it should be, as we would all want the money not to be a barrier to solve the murder or death of our loved one. But at the same time, 2 years later, we're here with a serious charge in OUI, but nowhere near a trial of this size that would be needed to come to that verdict. So, you know, my takeaway from this is, I've been saying this since the first trial, every police department in this country should be audited on a regular basis, I think, to make sure that they...
No, they got kicked, PJ. You ain't gonna say no slick shit to me, and you'll get your ass kicked. Now, if you come in here with some I told you so, Dolly, Karen Reed's free, I don't care, because you're right. You know, I told people that you could come here and tell me and say you were wrong, Dolly. I'll own it. Okay. She was convicted of DUI. I was right. She's a drunk. She didn't get the murder. I've said that the police did a shitty job on the investigation. So, I mean, it happens. I mean, it ain't that, it's not the end of my world. You know what I'm saying? I don't cover, you know, cop cases and runovers are not what we do here. We cover missing kids, and we're about to get back into that. I was hoping she would come out and give a little speech real quick. We could hear it and then jump back to the Jack and Lily. Plus, we're going to talk about this other little girl from Canada that went missing, and her mother's just been arrested. Okay. That's just coming in. The mother of the little missing girl from Canada has been arrested. Not Malaya, this other lady. What's her name? Clara Bell, little girl. Her mother apparently said her kid was missing and she didn't know what happened to it, and she's been arrested. They had a charge with child neglect, child abandonment, and I guess they found the family dog dead, and details are just coming in, but the mother has been arrested. Okay. So sad. Should be Daniel and Malaya. Yeah, and I don't think they found the baby girl yet, but they're thinking that the baby is deceased. Okay. Poor John and his family. Absolutely. Wow. Okay. Told you less than 2 years with probation. They found a dog. Yes, we're about to go over all that. Okay. All right, let's get rid of this Karen Reed bullshit. I'm glad this is over. All right. We don't got to hear about Karen Reed anymore. She's a free woman, so there's no need that we should have to ever hear about her face again until the Netflix documentary comes out. Okay. Until then, I don't even want to hear the bitch's name. Good God. Glad that these stimps ain't got nothing to talk. What are they gonna be like? Karen Reed's free. Well, you got it ends today. The book is over. Close your chapter, put your book down. It's over. You guys are right. She's free. She was acquitted. And yeah, that is what it is. All right, let's pull this up real fast and we'll get back to
in jail tonight after being charged with child abandonment. 3-year-old Claire Bell hasn't been seen since Sunday morning, and a massive police search is still underway. Dan Spector joins us from the Sûreté du Québec command post in Coteau-du-Lac, west of Montreal. And Dan, there have been some disturbing developments.
Things just keep getting more somber, Andrea, in this case that has cast a cloud of dread over the entire province. 3-year-old Claire Bell has brown hair, brown eyes, stands just under a meter tall, and on Tuesday, many became aware of a video of her in the arms of her mother, 34-year-old Rachel Todd.
You try that again, and this is gonna get ugly.
Todd posted that on TikTok just hours before Claire was last seen. The caption, "Have you ever faced a mother who has nothing left to lose?" The mother and daughter were seen in Montreal's LaSalle borough, where they reside, Sunday at 9:45 in the morning. Then in the afternoon, Todd walked into a souvenir shop 50 kilometers west, saying she had lost her daughter. After several hours of interrogation, Todd was arrested Monday night. She is charged with child abandonment with likelihood of causing permanent injury. She appeared at the Valleyfield courthouse via video conference wearing a gray blanket on her shoulders and a red shirt. She had a legal aid lawyer and responded to the judge clearly saying okay and thank you. The 34-year-old remains detained ahead of another court appearance Wednesday to set a bail hearing. The Crown is opposing her release.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
For now, we don't know what happened to Madame, the little girl. For now, we have the police officer still investigating. So we want to make sure that nothing more tragic is going on.
We want to find the girl quickly. So we put many resources to find the girl as soon as possible. This is hard because we have a large area.
Police and volunteers have been focusing their efforts near the location Claire's brown Chihuahua was found dead on the side of the road Monday afternoon around the intersection of highways 20 and 30. Teams are combing through the tall grass bordering area highways across a very large perimeter. Helicopters, ATVs, and drones continue to be deployed. Authorities are inviting anyone who saw a 2007 silver Ford Escape with a baby on board sticker on it to call them. The Crown has not excluded adding more charges against the mother in the coming days. Rachel Todd has no criminal history and no psychiatric evaluation has been ordered as of yet. In the meanwhile, authorities have ordered local municipalities to pause garbage collection as they continue the search for Claire Bell. Andrea.
Wow.
My heart tells me these babies are gone. My heart.
Okay, so that's the interview we were on, and that is super sad about the Claire Bell situation. Mother flipped out, made a TikTok video, and then possibly unalived her child. Now she walks in and tells people she don't know what happens to the child. You know, I just was informed about this case this morning. PJ was telling me, like, Dolly, you need to check this out. There's another situation that's went on in Canada, and I don't know what is in the air in Canada, but oh my God. Karen Reed, yes, found not guilty. But we're going to move on. We spent enough time on the Karen Reed. It took up a good half hour of our show today, and she was found not guilty on both charges and found guilty on a DUI. There is a civil suit against Karen, all right? And it's probably going to end up like the OJ situation. They're going to sue her for everything she got, and it is what it is. But the good thing is that we ain't got to hear people come in here and say free Karen Reed anymore. Okay, so that's the good news. That is the good news. The bad news, she wasn't convicted. Okay, but the good news is we don't got to see FKR anymore. Okay, the Kool-Aid is tapped out. All right, there's no more Kool-Aid to drink. It is all gone. All right, there was a couple survivors in the Jim Jones incident too. All right, it happens. So let's jump back over to the grandmother, finish up what we were doing before that all happened.
I love you. Lily is, she was my little dream girl, that the first granddaughter. And I loved that she had the brown hair and she had a space between her teeth, which I had when I was a kid. So yeah, she was our little princess. Jack was such a sober, serious little baby that he didn't like to smile. You could tickle him and he would look at you ever so serious, like he was really studying you.
And so how long were your son and Malia together?
3.5 years, I think it was, yeah. I thought they were the picture perfect family. Then Malaya started to tell me that they were having problems and she wasn't happy. She told me that she wasn't happy and she thinks she's going to leave. And I told her that we supported whatever she decides, that one good parent is way better than two broken ones.
And then how did that change your relationship with Lily and Jack?
I thought it was going to change, but it didn't. Yeah, it didn't change. Malaya, she was a sweetheart. Anytime we wanted to see the kids, she'd come by for a visit. She'd bring them by all the time. It was actually really, really good.
So when was the last time you saw the children?
1.5 years, almost, really. It's about 1 year and 9 months.
How did you deal with that?
Really, to be honest, maybe I didn't deal good enough with it. I looked at the fact that when her and my son separated, my son walked away. He chose to walk away, that she wanted sole custody of the kids. So she petitioned the courts for sole custody, and when she did that, he said he was done.
Were you ever formally questioned?
Yes.
So then it's about a month after Lily and Jack are last seen that they come and formally question you.
So it's about 3 weeks. They questioned Cody for 1.5 hours in the vehicle, and then they questioned me for 2 hours in the vehicle.
How did that feel to you?
I didn't mind. I mean, to me, I expect I'm the grandmother, so it wasn't a surprise to me. I'm assuming the sooner they do all that, I wish they would have done it sooner, that the sooner they can move on. So I didn't have a problem. My son was a little upset about it. He said they made him feel like he did something wrong, and he said he hadn't seen the kids in 3 years. So he was a little upset about it, that he said that they really come at him hard. They wanted to know what her favorite color was, and he said, they were babies when I seen them last. He said, she was just learning what she wanted to figure out to eat. I don't know what her color is. So yeah, he was pretty upset.
Have they ever talked to him again since then?
A couple of days ago, they had contact and they told him that they weren't looking his way anymore, that everything was fine.
And have they ever given you any information?
No, it's always the same thing.
Which is what?
They've got everybody on it. They are looking at all avenues. They can't divulge any information that could compromise their investigation. It's the exact same words.
Why are you so sure they're not in the woods?
I have children. I have grandchildren. And I see what kids are like through the woods. There's no reason for any child to wander deep into the woods. There's just not. I think somebody hurt these kids. I think somebody hurt them.
You don't sound very hopeful.
No. Our last day searching on Monday and seeing the woods and seeing the searchers and everybody everywhere. There's no way those kids are in the woods. There is nothing more pure and innocent than a 6 and a 4-year-old. And they deserve so much better than what they got.
Okay. Now, that is horrible to see, right? Because the grandma knows, right? She pretty much knows these kids are gone. It is very heartbreaking. Now, I do want to play one more thing on the Claire Bell situation. I'm going to pull it up now. And like I said, I don't know what's going on in Canada.
Sites that they continue to try and look for the.
But this is the other child that is missing in Canada. Mother appears to done went crazy, made a TikTok video, and unalived the family dog, or the dog has been found dead. She is in custody for child abandonment right now. Okay. And the child is still missing. They're searching high weeds for possibly her body. Dolly to Rhode Island, just said Karen Reed. Yes, guys, we know. We watched it live here. Karen Reed not guilty of the second-degree murder or the manslaughter. They did find her guilty of DUI. Claire Bell's mother is a nutcase. Okay. Apparently, if you're going to hurt your child, it takes a special kind of crazy to do that.
The girl. The search has now been expanded into Eastern Ontario, including areas around Castleman, Ontario, which is not far from the provincial border, as they're trying to find where this little girl may be. Take a look at the map. Newman Boulevard there at the center of your screen. That is in a neighborhood of Montreal called LaSalle. That's where the girl lived and where there was a first report that there might be an issue. Coteau-du-Lac, you see, outside of Montreal on the way to Ontario, in fact, was another place where the girl also may have been seen or reported missing. Highway 30 there is where the family's dog was found dead on the highway. Claire Bell, 3 years old, said to be shy, speaks English as a first language. There was also a bizarre post up on social media by her mother.
Okay, PJ's coming in saying Claire's mom's internet shows search for funeral arrangements and child-size urns at Dolly. So she had planned on unaliving this child, it appears. And what a beautiful little girl. What a beautiful little girl. Oh my God. And like when I see this little kid, it reminds me of when Tiff was a baby, right? Like, how could you do that? How could some mother be so horrible that she's possibly thrown this baby in the trash or thrown this baby away? They stopped trash collection, and holy shit. Now let's pray that this child is found, and what is going on with this baby's mother is insane. Okay. And I thought it was rare that something came out of Canada, right? Like that, like Jack and Lily. But now we get another case right behind that of a missing child, and hopefully the mother's saying she don't remember nothing, but hopefully she tells where this baby is. Yes, Kim, Karen is not guilty. Okay. Anybody else here say I told me so? Let's get this out the way so we ain't got to keep dealing with it. Okay. Anybody want to tell me I told you so, Dolly? Let's get it out. Let's get it out the way. Or am I going to have to do a stream? I told you so, Dolly stream. Y'all can say it. I told you so, Dolly. Child found alive. Not that I've heard. And the poor little doggy is also dead. No. Oh, so said the beautiful baby. Told you so. My ass off. Okay, you right. You did. You told me so. All right. Anybody else? Let's get the I told you so's out the way. All right. She was found alive. Did we have any information to prove that? Did we got any information to prove that this little girl was found alive? What, where? I didn't see it anywhere. PJ, see what you can do to find that if this little child is alive. And I got a call from, this is true crime related. I got a call from FedEx. Okay. Cause I just ordered my birth certificate. Do you guys remember when I ordered Don and Candace Wells, Missing Summer Wells, mom and dad, some dog food? Somehow FedEx mixed up my address and was about to deliver my birth certificate to Don and Candace Wells. I was like, and they called me, right? And I was like, no, that's not right. And I was like, I've been waiting on my birth certificate so I could get a passport. And the lady at FedEx said, well, I'm fixing it right now. Right. So they were going to send my birth certificate to Don and Candace Wells. That's insane. Right. I guess the same place I paid. I don't know how it got confused, but they called me from Hawkins County. FedEx called me and said, we're about to deliver this. Right. Because I paid extra to get it priority. So they bring it to my door. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm not in Tennessee. If y'all remember when I muted the show, I was talking to FedEx in Rogersville. Okay. So I hope they don't start sending all my shit I've ordered, because I've ordered some stuff to fucking Tennessee. That would suck. Okay. That would suck.
Was released in which the mother is angry and seems to be targeting someone. I know more than you think I do. And this video has also been very concerning because people are trying to figure out what exactly it means. The mother, by the way, is in custody. She will be appearing today in court. Police are obviously trying to get more information from her on where the girl may be, where she is. She went missing 4 days ago now. There's a massive manhunt for the Sûreté du Québec, plus police in Montreal and many other volunteers. They're using choppers, they're using drones. They're also on the ground trying to see if they can locate Claire Bell. Was she taken by someone else elsewhere? We simply don't know. I'm just going to listen in here for a moment if I can.
Cette personne-là a été retrouvée, sauf que c'est davantage tous les appels qu'on fait à la population pour des informations qu'à un moment donné, ben, ça finit par, le casse-tête se construit un petit peu plus, là, ça s'imbrique, OK, tu sais. Et puis, on va de l'avant pour vous informer de cette avancée-là.
Yeah, they're saying basically they're getting a lot of tips, a lot of information. They've obviously got to hunt down those tips and see if there are any legitimacy to the tips as they continue to try and find the little girl.
Now we're getting mixed reports that they found the little girl safe. Okay. But right now, PJ hasn't been able to find it. She went to the website. It's true, I guess. Only see French news as latest news source. Okay. So they found a little girl. All right. Well, this is good news. Hold on. Let's see if this pops up for me, what it says. Claire Bell found alive in Ontario. SQ going to give an update momentarily. Okay. And that was 12 minutes ago. Okay. Found alive. That is great news. That is great news right there. So, man, miracles happen. So I guess the mother ain't going to be charged with the murder. How'd the dog die? The mother then lost her stuff. And I don't know how far the baby was found from its home. Poor dog. I'm glad she was found. Now we charge her with murdering the dog. People still coming in saying Karen Reed is not innocent.
Someone missed it.
I mean, guilty, not guilty. Just in case someone missed it, I told you so, Dolly. Okay, rub it in. Okay, rub it in. Get your shots while you can. All right, fire them off while you got the chance. Listen, I told people, I said, listen, whatever happens, I can accept whatever happens in court. That I can live with it. If they find her innocent, then she's innocent. If they find her guilty, then she's guilty. I thought she was guilty. So I'm just noticed that after today, nobody's going to come in here and be talking about free Karen Reed, and we don't have to look at her face anymore. We keep it moving because now it's an old case. Okay. It's like all the steam is out of it now. We know the results. You know, we don't have to listen to people talk about it every day, which they may talk about it for a little while. Right? You know, oh, Karen's so great. We love Karen. Okay, they can get on the fucking Karen Reed fan club and maybe she'll autograph a book. We'll see Karen Reed at Crime Con. Okay. That's where it's at right now. Remind me when the Netflix special comes out. I don't care if she's free. I just wish John O'Keefe's family would have got some justice, but I hope they get that in the civil case. Okay. There's still hope for that. Just like OJ thought he was walking free. He did. But he walked free, broke his shit. All right. They took all his money. And they're going to do the same stuff with Karen Reed. She'll have to put everything in her mom and daddy's name for the rest of her life. I might come tonight and say free Karen Reed. Okay. You're more than welcome to do it. You know, I don't care. It ain't going to hurt my feelings none. People think that, like you saying, I told you so, Dolly, it's going to hurt my feelings or anything. It don't. I mean, listen, I'm right 98% of the time. This is part of the 2% that I'm wrong, right? And technically, I don't even think I'm wrong. I just think she got away with murder. That's bought her freedom. Rich people can do that. Us poor people, we can't buy our freedom. Right? I can't buy my freedom. You can't buy yours unless you're richer than, you know, rich. But you get in trouble in this world and you broke, you go to prison. If you can got millions of dollars and paid actors and high dollar lawyers, Hollywood lawyers, yeah, you can be free. You can buy your freedom. And what did it cost her? Millions of dollars? And she bought it. I mean, it is what it is. I know our justice system is broken anyway. So it's good. We're going to stand by for the press conference on Claire Bell to see what has happened. Nina, thank you so much. I'm sorry if I missed your first one, Nina. Thank you guys for the super chats. Get on the Dolly train. It's the best train in the game. Okay. I may be wrong about cop killers, but what I ain't wrong about is baby killers. All right. Now, I'm glad this mother didn't hurt this kid. She seemed a little postal from the TikTok video. Let's finish watching what we were watching, though.
Et quelque chose qui de se prononcer. En fait, ce qu'on veut, c'est vraiment la retrouver le plus rapidement possible.
Trying to find her as
On a toujours une
fast as
pensée
possible.
aussi pour ses proches, les
We're
familles
also
aussi
thinking
impliquées
of
là-dedans.
family and friends that are involved here and that are very worried about her safety.
Mais c'est difficile de se prononcer sur.
Guys, we know the baby was found. We absolutely know the baby was found. We're waiting on the press conference to find out the circumstances. We know 12 minutes ago they posted the baby was found. So Claire Bell is alive and well. I mean, if you're just tuning in, I can understand why you're jumping in saying the baby was found. But if you've been here for a minute, we know the baby's been found. Everybody in the chat, we know the baby's found. We're trying to find out now the circumstances of what happened. Did you order the dog food from there that you sent to Don and Candace? If so, that's how they made the mistake. They still have the address. Well, I don't know how they got, Vicky, I think it's the autofill. I need to take that off because it sent my birth certificate to Hawkins County.
L'issue.
Parce qu'il y a toute une hypothèse qui se fait, mais pour l'instant, il y a toujours rien qui peut nous indiquer qu'est-ce qu'elle a tué.
Ben, elle a été vue en vie à 14 heures. Fait que c'est cet espace-là qu'on essaie d'avancer. Puis justement, c'est quoi les déplacements?
Yeah, obviously this is very complicated. The police officer is talking about the last time that Claire Bell was seen by other people, and they're trying now.
On avait peut-être un 6 heures au début, là, on réduit ça.
Based on eyewitness accounts, based on people that may have seen something or not. Obviously very, very complicated. We're going to continue to.
So this was an interesting investigation that was brought to our attention by students, actually at the University of Waterloo, who, going about their daily activities at the vending machine, noticed a message that came up that said facial recognition.app.exe application error, which was very concerning.
Okay, I don't know what this was. I must have clicked into the next video. We don't care about vending machines, okay? In Ontario, I don't think anybody care about vending machines in Ontario. So let's see if PJ has sent me anything else. She was found alive. Claire Bell is alive. Okay, here's a post from it, and it says. Claire Bell found alive in Ontario. SQ going to give an update momentarily. So thank God that is some good news today. We got a little bit of bad news. Okay. Karen Reed's going to walk free, but we got some good news today too. And that is that Claire Bell has been found safe and alive.
Dolly, KR bought her freedom, but we know what she did, and prayers for John O'Keefe's family. Disappointed face emoji. Folded hands
Yes.
emoji.
Definitely prayers for John. And we got to remember, this was all about John O'Keefe anyway. Karen Reed is no celebrity. She's just a woman that was accused of something that bought her freedom. Now, you know, she will fade away into the distance as into like a nobody. Think about how many people, you know, Casey Anthony was a real big deal, but how often do you hear Casey Anthony anymore? The name. And she's damn sure no Casey Anthony. So she will fade off into nothing, the nobody that she was before this happened. And, you know, she'll get her little 15 minutes on Netflix, and then nobody will give a shit about her. You know, more power to her. She's a drunk. She Crohn's and damn all that shit. She apparently got brain tumors, and how long is she going to be around anyway? Karma get her ass right with a colostomy bag. That's how I look at it. Karen is so guilty. Yeah, I mean, it not a good situation. Not a good situation. You know, prayers for John O'Keefe's family, his mother, Paul, all them people. You know, they're going through it. They're the victims, not her. Has been found. Yes, PJ. Is there an update or a press conference? I want to make sure that we don't miss it if it's, you know, coming out. This is from her dad. She has been found. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for everyone's help. Please allow me and my family to take this time with our girl. All right, this came out from the dad, Claire Bell's father. Let me share it with you guys. She has been found. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for everyone who helped. Please allow me and my family to take this time with our girl. Okay. So, I mean, it appears that the mother has some mental issues going on right now. But that is great news. Great news. Okay. So now, if this was just, you know, look how fast they found this child. And we don't know the circumstances yet of how this child was found. I'm sure we'll be learning those circumstances here today. We don't know. We don't know. We just know she has been at this point found, safe, and alive. All right. So that is a blessing. Now, if we could just get the same result from Jack and Lily, you know, look, we're over a month and a half into Jack and Lily going missing. And it's bad. You know, just like the title says, oh, this is bad. That is not a clickbait title. That is an actual real deal title. This is bad. The grandmother said things are not what they usually are. The house inside, just like the outside, is a wreck. The grandmother said that Malaya is emotionless, just like we've been saying, you know, and she feels like these children are no longer with us. And that's heartbreaking, you know, and prayers to her. I do know she watches the show because she's left comments here on the channel. So, Grandma, big hugs to you. We're still praying that there's, you know, something comes out and maybe these kids are on one of these reservations. And I mean, that's wishful thinking, you know, hopefully, or some, you know, just miracles still happen. And I know a lot of my viewers, we're religious here and we believe in God and we believe in miracles. It happens. There was a miracle today. Okay. There was one today. It wasn't Jack and Lily, but Canada was blessed with a miracle today. The return of Claire Bell. And these things do happen, right? Montreal found alive in Ontario. How far is Ontario from Montreal? I don't really know. I'll be honest with you. I barely know the United States, most lessly Canada. But look, I know this, every child's life matters. And this is good news. Y'all want to take some phone calls? You want to open up the phone? Let's open up the phone lines. All right, I want to hear from you, beautiful people. What y'all think about all this? What the grandmother had to say about the house being unkept, Malaya motionless, Claire Bell being found, and as updates come in on the Claire Bell situation, we will give them to you right here on Dolly Vision. As it happens, PJ is on her game, so anything else goes down. We done seen what the father said. We realized that they found her body, but we was on it. We was ready to talk about it just in case she wasn't found. But listen, my favorite thing is when these children are found. I'm glad when I ain't got to talk about it, right? I can go cut the grass and do other things. So just, wow. You know, like I was sitting here like upset about, damn, Karen Reed done got off. That ain't good. But at least the little girl's found. So that adds a little joy to my life. All right. Just a little bit. Let's go open the phone lines now. Sign in. All right, let me throw the phone line number on the screen. Oh, didn't see. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Hey.
How you doing? I was first one to get through.
Yes.
It's Crab Rangoon from Oklahoma. How you doing?
It's who?
Crab Rangoon from Oklahoma.
Okay, Crab Rangoon from Oklahoma. I can't even talk. Oklahoma.
Yeah. You know, I was wondering if there hypothetically was a party that night, and maybe they had some people over there, you know, maybe some drugs were done or something. And the next morning, the parents are in bed. They're hearing the kids play. They know that there's somebody in the next room, maybe keeping an eye or hearing the door. And maybe someone took them out of the house. They could have been playing out there and he, you know, had the boots on and he hypothetically took them to school. Or, you know, hey, do you want to go with me? And then Jack went too and took the kids.
Yeah, I mean, it could be usually when you're kidnapped or murdered or anything like, it's usually by somebody you know,
yeah,
or familiar with the family. So it's very rare that a stranger wouldn't know there's kids in the house. A stranger wouldn't know the kids were in the yard playing because you can't see it from the street. So
well, if they were partying, maybe there was some people there that they didn't really know. They just kind of maybe an acquaintance from somebody they knew.
Yeah.
And there could have been drugs and everything in the house. And they could have made up a lie and said they went missing because the drugs were in the house and they didn't want to go to jail.
Yeah. And I mean, something's definitely changed over the last 19 months, like the grandmother said. That things, you know, she went from bringing the kids over all the time into the kids being clean and to her being clean and the house being clean to now she lives in a pit, you know, like it's dirty. The kids ain't well kept, you know, and we seen pictures of Jack, Lily, and Malaya before Daniel, and they look nice. They look well kept, clean, taken care of. And now we see them and they're in like a dirty, ran down. Yeah. And then, you know, we never knew what the inside of the house looked like, but according to the grandma, the inside of the house wasn't much better than the outside of the house.
I'm wondering if she had some postpartum depression and then the drug use kind of,
maybe,
and then she just stopped caring.
She did have a newer baby, and I don't know how long postpartum lasts. I'm not a woman. I'm not, you know, I don't know these things.
Mine didn't kick in until 2 months after.
And you had a baby and then it got depressed?
It was 2 months after he was born, my son. He's grown now, though. But, yeah, I mean, it can happen. Hormones are crazy.
Yeah. And how long did that last with you?
Well, I started taking medicine, so maybe about a month, and the medicine kicked in, and then I went off of it when I started feeling better later on down the road.
Your depression wasn't at a level that it would make you do something to somebody bad, would it?
No, but there are some moms that, you know, if you're not sleeping, they do some things to their baby.
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand.
It happens.
Yeah, and especially 3 kids. And, you know, they're rumoring that these kids were special needs, but other people are saying they're not. And that could be a lot of stress on a young parents.
Yeah. But thank you for letting me call. I'm glad I got through to you guys. I'm going to finish watching y'all's show.
All right, you be good. Peace.
You too. Bye.
Okay, so yeah, I think just the stress alone could be a lot on a young mother. Okay, 3 kids, especially, you know, we seen Lily, she likes to scream and pretty loud. Montreal Tyler found alive. Okay, hold on, let's pull this up. Dolly.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, it's Trippy Thougtsicle calling from Nova Scotia.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. So I've been hearing a lot about the stuff about Malaya, and I'm an analyst, and that's what I do is analyze things.
Okay.
And so I've been watching a lot of this, and her behavior is very consistent with trauma.
Malaya, do you think so? From what type of trauma? What type
definitely.
of trauma?
Even if you put in all the symptoms and all the scenarios into ChatGPT and let it analyze it, it will come back and tell you that it is most likely a trauma response. However, Daniel, his behavior is very suspect. He's changed his stories multiple times.
Yes.
And like, there's all kinds of things, like the way he plants seeds and diverts people's suspicions to other things, like the status stuff. I'm actually Native. That would in no way help you hide a child on a reserve. The reserve would never hide that child. Police can go on the reserve. There's an RCMP detachment right on that reserve.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Like, it's crazy. Like, but he planted the seed by going on about this status stuff that matters about nothing. The mother don't like Daniel. He's made her out to be the evil one. And it's like, well, you know, her daughter's living in a rundown trailer.
Yeah.
Before, she was doing quite well. She looked a lot better. She was able to keep her house decent. Now, all of a sudden, her whole life is going down the tubes. As a mother, I wouldn't want my kid around that either.
Okay, PJ.
But
yeah.
as a daughter, I can tell you, no one likes to hear their parents badmouth the person they're with. And they will distance from them, even if it's a bad guy. Because it's like they're questioning your judgment as well as badmouthing the person you're with.
Yeah, I agree that, like, his behavior to me kind of reminds me of a Chris Watts or something like that. But I still,
and that's even who ChatGPT compared him to.
Is Chris
behavior
Watts?
was very similar.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
And let's face it, he's the one not allowed to see any of his kids, not even his other 2 biological ones. She has custody. If there was any fear at all she did anything to those kids, she would not have custody of those kids. There's no such thing as the mother supervises her as she takes care of the kids living in the house. That just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
If she was a danger to those kids, they would not be in that house.
Yeah, I mean, unless they know something, like they say the police told CPS and CPS told her to get them children out of there, and they suspect Daniel but don't have any proof. But then he's lost full custody, but he don't tell why he's lost custody of the.
No, he leaves out very important stuff, but he plants little seeds everywhere. Every little kind of crazy theory you've heard started with Daniel. He planted every single seed to divert attention away from him. Meanwhile, he's changing his stories, and he's constantly trying to get in front of the media to rewrite history and for everybody to think he's this wonderful person.
Yeah.
He goes on like, I took care of these kids. You know, they were my responsibility because Malaya was a horrible mother. Well, if he was such a good dad, how come the kids are missing? But he doesn't see it that way because he knows the kids never went missing while they were under his care. He knows what happened to them.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and just looking statistically, non-biological caregivers are overrepresented when it comes to homicide statistics. It all fits with Daniel. It does not fit with Malaya. Her behavior very much fits, though, with a trauma response. That's why she's not talking. That's why you're not hearing anything from her. She cut off contact with Daniel, removed every existence from his life, because that's what you do with people who have tongue-tied, narcissistic personality disorder. You completely cut them out. And she can't even be with anybody who knows him and talk to him, because he will try to get to her through them.
Yeah. And that's what he's been doing, is kind of sending underlying messages to Malaya because he don't have any contact.
And then he goes on about how much he loves her. He has not said one nice thing about her.
About him, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, he's not said one nice thing about Malaya. All he has done is criticize and thrown her under the bus, but then goes on about how much he loves her.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing some of that, but she's not saying anything. What mother don't go out and fight for her kid?
Someone who's going through trauma.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't understand that type of trauma. How long does that trauma last?
Well, I don't think you can put a kind of clock on it. I mean, basically, the person she thought she could, she didn't think he would harm the kids. She would want to believe him, but she never would have thought he would have harmed the kids. So this person she thought she knew, didn't know him at all. It basically puts her in a state of, she doesn't even know what's real and what's not real anymore.
Do you think that the possibility,
settling place to be.
You think there's a possibility that she told him she wanted to leave and he did something with the kids?
I think he knew, regardless if she told him or not. You pick up on stuff like that, right? I mean, here they went out shopping that day, right, as a family. Could have got home, could have started fighting about money after going shopping. Maybe she's getting fed up with all that. Because I've heard people say, like, oh, well, they're doing okay. Because, yeah, Daniel gets EI, and she gets so much in for child support and all of that stuff. But I make more than both of them do, and I live in Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
I don't have kids. I'm still struggling paycheck to paycheck, and I've only got one car, not two. I don't have 3 kids I'm taking care of. It's just me putting the roof over my head. And, I mean, I make decent, but it's still a struggle because the cost of living is just so high right now in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So, like, I definitely think they were struggling financially. And I think it was that's what couples mostly fight over, is finances. And you got someone like Daniel, who can't see himself as anything less than a superhero. Right? He's always pumping himself up.
Yeah.
I've heard he's always been like that too. People going, oh, he's not a bad guy or whatever. I've talked to other people who say, oh yeah, Daniel was always like that. He's got a lot of insecurities. He was bullied in school. I think it was because he might have had hearing aids when he was young and stuff. Like, so people kind of picked on him, right?
Yeah.
And he's not basically this person that he makes himself out to be in the media. So anyways, I just wanted to talk with that, because I just hear people going on and on about Malaya, and about just because she's not in contact.
Mm-hmm.
Really, you know, if I was her psychologist, I would tell her, don't give a flying F about what's going on in social media or any of that. Take care of Malaya. Your only job right now is to take care of Malaya and Meadow, and screw all the rest. You have no responsibility to those people, is what I would tell her.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Stay off the internet, because the internet is just going to make you out. They're going to twist and turn everything you say. But yeah, you would expect that people to say something.
Should her lawyer make a statement on her behalf or something? Probably, and maybe they will soon. They're likely trying to see how this all unfolds, because I do think she lied initially when she didn't realize what was going on. I think she was still kind of trying to protect Daniel and stuff when this started.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's like an obstruction of justice charge, right?
Yeah.
So she had to get a lawyer because she lied to the police, right?
Yeah, I definitely think they were.
I mean, it makes sense, but I think she's likely cooperating now and has come clean with them.
Okay.
I think she's probably, yeah. Anyways, I'll let you go. I just wanted to get that out there.
All right, peace. Okay, so real quick, a little bit of more information coming in about Claire Bell. She was found walking down the street at around 3 p.m. This is what it says. It says, Claire Bell, a Montreal toddler who's been missing since Sunday, has been found alive in Ontario, Quebec. Providence police confirmed to CTV News. The girl was spotted alone on the side of a highway on 417 near St. Albert, Ontario, on Wednesday at around 3 p.m., which was just a few minutes ago, by the Ontario Providence Police. Drones or take OPP drone and taken to a nearby hospital. Okay. She was speaking with the police officers. She was alive. We provided some first aid, water, and food, a spokesperson said, for Quebec. I don't know how do you say that name in Canada, right? I'm not even going to try to murder it because it's some French name. In the update to the media, we're just making sure that she's okay. Police said they received a lead earlier that day after announcing that the girl had been spotted near Castleman in St. Albert in Ontario the day she went missing. Okay, so they got a lead and they found her days later, but the little girl was alive and well. There's still many unanswered questions about what happened to the 3-year-old girl. But the police say they're just happy she's been found safe. All we can tell you now is we're happy that she's alive. It's the best scenario possible. The QS and the OPP will hold news conference Wednesday evening to provide more information. This is breaking news update on an earlier version of the story is below. And that story is basically she went missing. The mother made that video, and OPP, great police work. Yeah, OPP, you know me, right? It reminds me of Naughty by Nature, but it is what it is. Great news. The little girl was found alive and well, and she's alive. That's the most important thing. Dolly. Doug. What's up, Doug, from Tennessee?
Hey, brother. He's a miracle everywhere, every time. And I think Quebec's got the same damn water we got in Tennessee.
You think so? That people are going crazy up there, right? Acting kind of wild. The mother said, she made that weird TikTok video. Then the dog was dead, and the baby had to be dropped off because it sounds like it was a ways from where it went missing. Did you drop the baby off on the side of the road? That's crazy.
Yeah, kids are going missing everywhere. But I'm with that woman, though, about Daniel. I'm still thinking they got a hold of something, and they had to think up some lie because they don't want to be in trouble because them kids died.
Yeah, on their watch. Yeah, I mean it's possible. I mean we don't know.
One little field, brother, or one little grain would kill a child. It would kill a kid.
Absolutely.
Of that elf or the elf or the other stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Or kill a kid.
It would kill a kid quickly.
Yeah.
And then they would have to get rid of them children, and both of them would have to come up with an ideal. And he made her say it, and now she's scared of him.
Maybe. I mean, I don't.
She is scared of him.
I don't know their reasoning and why they've done what they've done, but I mean, even from all the family we spoke with and the grandmother speaking out, nobody believes those kids were abducted, and nobody believes that they ran off into the woods. So it only leaves them 2 people, well, 3 people, the other grandmother that's not speaking, Daniel's mother, which ain't technically biological grandmother, but still she was there, and we haven't heard anything from her.
Yeah, but see, the only 2 that got it, the hold of it, is the 2 that could walk. Because the little baby didn't. The little baby didn't know, did it?
No, little baby didn't. The baby was there, Meadow.
And it couldn't get to the stuff that them kids got a hold of.
Yeah.
And if they were having a party there, somebody left some laying around.
Maybe. I mean, Daniel denies the party, but I don't really believe Daniel, and I don't really believe Malaya. So
a party don't have to be a whole bunch of people, but it could just be 4 or 5 sitting around there doing it.
It could be just them partying together.
Yeah, I mean, with a couple more. You don't have to be a big party. It could be a little party.
Yeah,
and somebody left something laying around, and then one child might have got a hold of it and give some to her little brother, and then both of them died.
Yeah, and I mean it makes sense because
and see, that little girl would
something's
share with her little
changed.
brother.
Something's changed in the last 19 months, according to the grandma.
But that little girl would share with her little brother.
Yeah,
because they were tight.
Uh-huh.
So if she got a piece of candy, she would give her brother a piece of the candy too.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. And then he taking in some hard drugs.
I mean, I just hope and pray that ain't what happened. And they had to tank up a lie. That's why it was scripted. And they got rid. And the 4-wheeler is where they got rid of the bodies with. That's why they watched it.
Yeah, they didn't clean. They didn't clean nothing else. The house, the yard, the cars, nothing. But that 4-wheeler were clean as shit.
And if it was because of that little stuff laying around, there wouldn't be no damn stuff laying around for them to find it. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So I just hope and pray they get a hold of something, brother. That's my bad feeling.
Yeah. Okay, Doug. I appreciate you calling in.
And I said, tell PJ hi.
She can hear you.
And don't you just love that crow?
Yeah. Sometimes you eat it. All right. Peace.
I know it. It's peace, bro.
Listen. You can't be right about every single thing, right? But here's the thing. Hold on, caller. I'll take it. It's from Nova Scotia. Dolly.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Yeah, how's it going?
Not bad. This is from Nova Scotia again.
You got to turn me down in the background. You kind of broke up a little bit.
All right, just hold on a sec. There.
All right, it's who from Nova Scotia?
What's that?
Who is this? Say it one more time.
The relative from Nova Scotia. The relative of the kids from Nova Scotia.
Hey, how's it going, relative?
Not bad, boy. Not bad. You listen. You did a little bit all right when I called you the other day. I wanted to stir up some shit and get some people notice some stuff, and I told you I was going after the family.
Uh-huh.
And I did.
Okay.
And I want your viewers to know, all the ones that shot their lips off about me running to the cops. Well, I did tell the cops. The cops know what I know.
Uh-huh.
What was pissing me off is that the cops weren't doing anything with it.
Okay.
So I want you to know that I stirred some stuff up. And right now in Nova Scotia, the shit's hitting the fan pretty good. There's some pretty drastic changes going on.
Uh-huh.
Your one analyst that was just on there talking about Daniel and that.
Yeah.
I wonder if I don't think, I don't know, you educate an idiot, what do you have? You had an educated idiot. Anyway, I'm not saying 100% that Daniel's not involved yet, but the reason I'm calling is to let you know. All right, I'll tell you a fact right now.
Uh-huh.
All right?
Let's hear it.
Malaya just took the baby and ran from where she was supposed to be staying at her mother's house under full supervision.
Uh-huh.
She took the baby and ran, and she supposedly ran to the reservation in Shubenacadie.
Okay, you're saying she's at the reservation now?
Well, she's supposed to be running towards the reservation right now. Now, let me think here for a second how we're going to do this. What the main reason I'm calling is that's going to break some things because she broke the CPS contract of being fully supervised there. And her mother was there and resisted her running, and she went against her mother and everybody and ran by herself. So let me see here. That's going to be the cops should be able to put a lot of pressure on her now through CPS over this.
Okay, the room wants to know, can you explain to them one more time how you're related to Malaya?
I am the great-grandmother's first cousin. Patty is the great-grandmother of the kids. Cindy is my first cousin. That's Malaya's mother.
Mm-hmm.
And Malaya would be whatever, my third cousin or whatever.
Okay.
And so that's what's going on here right now, and it's a direct result. I told you people that I was going to go stir up the family, and I did today.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe a member of the family heard what I was saying when I was stirring shit up and notified Malaya, and Malaya broke and ran. Because, listen, here's what I want to say mainly. I still and more firmly believe now that those kids are alive.
You do believe they're alive?
believe, yes, sir, and I believe I'm catching on to who got them and who transported them. Now, the cops are after me to tell them names that I believe, but it's only speculation is what I'm telling the cops. They're telling me I could be charged with, your viewers want me to tell the cops everything. Well, here's the deal on that. If I tell the cops what I know or think I know, it's still only speculation. So they're telling me that if I have proof and withhold it, I can be charged with interference with the investigation. I'm not going to, what I have is speculation, but it's been pretty right so far, and it's getting results. And the people that I have in mind as far as their names, I asked the head of the major crime unit down here on the phone. He was pretty well demanding names. I asked him what he would do if I gave him a name. He said, we would investigate. I said, well, by investigate, you're going to go interview them. He said, yes. Right? So by interviewing them, the people that might have moved the kids, you're warning the goddamn people that might have the kids.
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen. But here's what I want to say. There's a couple other.
Yeah, but what if they go there? What if they go there and the kids are there? I mean, that could be a double-edged sword. You could be warning them, but you could also find the kids if you believe these are the people that took the kids.
I know the kids aren't. I know that I'm 99% sure that the kids aren't with the same people that transported them. Okay.
Is it family that you believe transported them, or friends of Malaya and Daniel?
I believe it's semi-family that transported them, and I believe it's distant family, in-law, that's got them or had them. That's what I believe, and that's all I'll say about that. What I want to say is that there was another couple of YouTubers picked up our conversation, and that's fine. I figured that would happen, and I wanted it to happen. Now what I want to happen, I want to, and this is a big if the kids are alive, and I believe they are, the people that have the kids right now, if they panic and decide to hurt the kids to try to hide it now, there are people zeroing in on them.
Yeah.
And if they hurt the kids now, they're just going to hurt themselves worse in the end. So their best bet, I'm warning these people, if this is the case, which I'm pretty sure it is, I want to warn these goddamn people. You let those kids loose somewhere in the light of day where we can find them and get a hold of them. If you don't, and you hurt them, there'll be definite hell to pay. That's all I got to say right now.
Let me ask you one more question real
If your
fast.
grandpa lives on another Reese?
Why would they hide the kids? What would be your explanation of why Malaya would want to hide these kids?
There's two reasons that I can see. There's two reasons possibly why they would hide the kids. Number one is to protect the kids possibly from some abuse that was going on in the household. Right? Now, both Malaya and Daniel have accused each other of being abusive to the kids. I believe I know which one was only slightly abusive, because there's no murder here and there's no big serious crimes here that started all this. I believe one parent under-disciplined the kids, and I believe the other parent tried to discipline the kids a little bit. And they didn't like that, and that's what some arguing in that was about. And then I believe the complaining of one person to a bunch of family members led into other family members deciding to do something about it.
Okay. So there may have been some allegations of some type of abuse going on in the household. So they got
That's right. There's lots of allegations. There was allegations of drug abuse and physical abuse and all that stuff, which may have been slightly going on, which I don't care about. But we're 99% sure that the kids got transported to the end of the driveway. They got put into a vehicle. They got transported somewhere else and shifted off to someone else. And I just want to warn the people, if there's people, a big if, because I'm not going to say this for truth, but I'm saying it's you ask me what I believe, and I'm seriously believing this.
Okay.
The goddamn people that have those kids, they thought they were doing a good thing keeping the kids safe, but it snowballed too quick and got too big. too quick. That's what happened. And now they don't know what the hell to do. And I don't want them to panic and hurt those kids if the kids are still alive.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So, for Jesus' sake, listen, Malaya is not going to get the kids back. Malaya is probably going to lose Meadow now because she broke the CPS contract by running. And
now, are you sure of this? Are you sure of this, that she's left her mother's?
99%, yes. And I believe I caused it.
Okay.
Because I was overheard by someone who I have suspicions on talking about this to another relative of mine. And I believe they picked up the phone and called Malaya and said the jig is up, and Malaya panicked and ran. That's what I think happened.
Okay.
And I did it on purpose. I did it on purpose to shake things up.
Even though you're related to Malaya, you just want the right thing done for these kids.
I don't give a sweet goddamn who gets hurt in this, as long as they're the ones that are responsible.
Yeah.
And I don't believe anybody is, how do I put this? I don't believe anybody in the situation. Malaya's mother, I'm thoroughly convinced, doesn't know anything about this. Malaya has her completely shut out, and she's been trying to find out what's going on, but with no success.
And that's your cousin.
Nobody else in the family knows what happened or what went on, other than Malaya and Daniel's suspicions. Daniel does not even know what really went on. He's suspicious, and he's a mess. But that's my thing. Now, all these people on here fully conjecturing with no knowledge whatsoever of the situation. It's just all retarded. It's all foolish, man.
Yeah, well, it's going to happen. Anytime there's not answers, people are going to try to fill in the blanks.
Yeah, and that's what happened. It started off with no answers, and then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's where it went. It's, if the kids are brought back safe right now or very soon, which I think they will be, then it's not really going to be a super big deal. It's not going to be as big a deal as murder or abduction.
Oh, definitely not.
Selling kids or stuff like that. It's going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
But not near to the scale of that. So that's all I have to say. The shit's hitting the fan down here, and the cops are going to have a lot more ability to put pressure on somebody.
Okay.
And I think it's going to break very soon.
I pray so.
I just want to say directly through you, and I know somebody else will pick this up too. And if there's people, if the kids are okay, which I believe they are, and being taken care of, I want the people to know that are taking care of them right now, let the goddamn kids bring them in.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to be in the same situation that they were transported out of. So stop all this shit. Bring the kids in.
Definitely. I agree with that.
That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say.
All right, you hear anything, you find out anything, you keep us informed, all right?
Well, I think you're doing the right thing.
Appreciate it.
All right,
it. And
goodbye.
miracles happen. All right, peace. Okay, now listen. Like I said, I don't know who that caller is. That caller could be a troll, but he seems to know information or alleged information. That's when you hear these callers call in, guys, I have no way, let me say this to you guys, to fact check who that is. I do know that the number is coming from a Nova Scotia number because I know the area code. Is he family with them? It's possible. Is he not family with them? It's possible. Is this somebody making up something? It's possible. We don't know. You have to weigh that out for yourself out here, just like I do. But when people call me, I give them the chance to talk just in case. Now, we know family members watch this show. Every family member of every missing kid case I have ever covered, except for Maddie Soto. Okay, nobody called in the Maddie Soto case. But every other case I have covered, family members watch the show. And I try to keep that in mind sometimes because, we talk murder and chaos and foul play. We're team foul play here. Let's be honest. If we had to pick a team, we're team foul play. I explain to people all the time, they don't usually cover cases unless I believe there's some foul play. But I could be wrong, right? That's why I always tell people to share these beautiful kids' pictures, because listen, I could be wrong. I was wrong today. Karen Reed was found innocent. I thought she was guilty as hell. I still think she's guilty. I just think, money buys your freedom. But she's innocent. And I can live with the fact that they found her innocent. All right. I'm not going to dwell on it. It is what it is. Things happen. They found her innocent, and to the court, to public, she's an innocent woman. So I can't call her a murderer. She was found innocent of it. Right. But I believe she got away with it. I mean, in my honest opinion, but it is what it is. And that book is closed. And there's still pages open in these other books. Claire Bell, the book is closed. We still don't have all the answers in the Claire Bell situation. We do know that she was found safe, walking down the road by herself. Brave little girl, survived this. The father is extremely happy, thankful that his daughter is alive. Okay. And we know now that miracles happen. That's a miracle. She was missing since Sunday. So for the last few days, she's been out on her own and she survived, which it gives us hope that, we see Jack and Lily, that maybe they're okay. And let's just think about this. If that caller really is on to something and these kids are out there and he's saying he's taking up for Daniel, but says he's kin to Malaya, which is strange, right? Hold on. Producer. Dolly. Yeah. Do you just want to write another one and sign my name? Then initial it. If you scratched anything out, just initial it JW. Okay. I didn't get it that you sent to me. Oh, okay. Let me go up then. Let me go up. Okay, let me look at it. All right, just taking a second to load. I'll let you know in just a second. It looks good to me. What'd you say, the date? Oh, yeah, maybe initial that. That ain't even important on the check, but just put a little JW by it. Okay. Okay, that's perfectly fine. All right, see you soon. Okay, my producer. I'm paying the federal government some money. I had to make sure it was right. Okay, you don't pay Uncle Sam, they come and get you. Okay, or they come and take all your shit, and we can't have that. Okay, so when you got to pay that note, it ain't no joke. All right, so I was just making sure the check I wrote out to Uncle Sam was legit. I don't, so handling things like that. Little, YouTube, there's a little bit of business into it, right? You gotta pay that. So y'all gotta remember when y'all super chat, I gotta pay taxes on that money, right? So, and then YouTube takes a cut, then the tax man takes a cut, and then I'm left with a bologna sandwich. Okay, that's just basically, that's what they give you around here on YouTube. YouTube streets are tough. All right, this is a tough career right here. Watch this, Dolly. Watch what? Okay. Love the name Sage. Just saying hi, Sage. I believe him. Now let's ask this. Let's just take a poll since I got you here. before we take any more calls. How many people believe that caller? If you believe them, press 1. And if you don't believe them, press 2. Okay. Let's just see where the chat room is on them. You know, should I believe this guy's telling truth or should I not? Okay. I see some 1s coming up. 2. 1 is truthful. 2 is we're being trolled. Okay. I see a lot of 1s coming up in the chat room so far. Okay. 3, you don't know. I don't know either. 2, I see a 2. I mean, it's possible, you know. 70% believe, says PJ. Okay. See some 1s, 1.5. No reason not to have as of right now. Well, listen, I pray he's telling the truth. I pray that he is a family member and that he's on to something and these kids are alive. Now, how great would that be? That would be unbelievably great if there's somebody hiding these kids and they're doing this. Now, if we comes to find out Malaya did take off from her mother's and he was right, then we really have something to go, okay, this dude is on to something. Okay. Or more reasons to believe him. But right now, I don't know if Malaya has ran off to the reservation or not. We'll have to do a little digging and research into that, you know. And of course, there's other YouTubers out here following this case. Maybe they could follow up on that call, because I knew too when that call came in, you know, even if he's trolling, I knew that call was going to spread on the internet. And I am going to post the calls of just him for people, because a lot of people don't watch the long live streams. They tend to watch the short videos. If you look at the plays on my live streams, usually they're around, you know, 15,000, 10,000, 15,000 plays. People watch the show. We need to grow that. Okay. We need to get that up a little bit. But the little short videos I do, people are impatient. They want the information fast. Okay. They don't want it trickling in. They want it flowing in. And those videos that I've been putting out, I've been doing really good plays, you know, 30, 40, 50,000 people, and it's getting out to more people. Now, if this phone call is legit, I want it to go out to more people so more people can dive into it a little bit. And if it's legit, we can go off of it. If it's not legit, it'll come out that it's not legit, right? We don't have a huge team here like a media like CNN or MSNBC or Fox News to go verify who this person is, right? We just don't. So we got to take it with maybe he's telling the truth, maybe he's not, and all those good things. You know, there's been YouTubers up here that fake phone calls, right? I'm not one of those YouTubers. If I faked it, Rose wouldn't call 50 times a day. Okay. First thing I'd be is like, here. And to show you I don't know the numbers, as you see, I still take Rose's 50 calls a night, right? It's a lot of the same people that call in here. And every now and then we get some new ones depending on the cases, right? But I don't fake anything here. I don't tell people to call. I don't make up things. And there's been YouTubers in the past that have done those things. And it made it all the way to damn major news channels, and they faked it. All right. Remember when Brian Kohlberger allegedly called the channel, and Stephen Stern's friends called, and it was always this one channel. And now we know that was fake, and that YouTuber couldn't get 100 plays if you gave it to him. If you watch his video yourself 100 times, he still couldn't get 100 plays. It destroyed his whole YouTube channel, which he basically copied off of me anyway, right? It was just another version of Dolly Vision. And true crime call-ins, that's my shit up here on YouTube. There's people that dabble in it, and that's fine, but everybody knows the true crime call-in show is Dolly Vision. All right, it's been that way for years, and then other people seen success in it, that I was gaining success in it, and they started to do it themselves, right? Listen, when you see something good, of course, you're going to copy it, right? And the format was basically, I took from a channel that I loved when I was younger, and I used to listen to Coast to Art Bell. Okay, anybody fans of Art Bell out there? And I loved this call-in show, and he always listened to people, no matter if he thought you were full of shit or what. He would always give you the platform. He would always let you have a voice. And I wanted to do something like that. So I copied Art Bell, me, myself. Now, a lot of people have copied me, right? But I copied Art Bell. Or I don't know if now I'm a little bit different than Art Bell, because Art Bell's a really serious guy and I'm not. So I didn't want mine to be silly. I mean, I wanted to add a little bit of silliness to mine. So I'm not exactly like Art Bell. I didn't copy Art Bell to the T, but I copied the format. Let's give everybody a chance. Let's let the people have the voice, not just my voice, but the people's voice. Because sometimes the callers are the best part of the show. Okay. You never know what you're going to get when you got an open phone line, right? It could be anything. And it reminds me of old school radio, which I grew up on anyway. You know, the whole YouTube thing, I wasn't the hippest to when I started, but I knew radio, right? I knew what, you know, let's make Dolly Vision a lot like a radio station instead of so much like a media station. Now I've mixed it. There's a lot more media involved in the format than just phone calls. Now we're showing videos. We're, you know, discussing these other things from videos and showing things live as they happen, which is a little different than, of course, Art Bell. But you adapt and you add to it to create your own kind of style. And like I said, people have took that style and kind of ran with it, you know, but they did it, and they did it with bad intentions, right? They did it to where they wanted to get views and clicks, and that was the most important thing to them. And next thing you know, they tried to be Dolly at home. And what do I explain at the beginning of every show? Don't try to be Dolly at home. Listen, there's enough Dolly. There's me and the lady with the big old titties. Okay. I think that's enough Dolly for the world. I could be wrong. Okay. I could be wrong, but that's just what I'm thinking. All right. That's just what I'm thinking. So let's get the phone lines back open. Let's take some more calls. Thank God Claire Bell was found alive, safe. Little girl out by herself for 3 days, made it home safe. I bet you her father is so happy. The mother's in jail. She needs a little bit of mental. Dolly.
I did it again.
You did?
Yes.
All right. Who is this?
This is Susan from Maryland. And before you say, oh, no, it's that chick from Maryland the other night.
Uh-huh.
The reason I'm calling is because I have a question for you.
I got to answer. I don't know if it's right, but I'm giving my best shot.
I think it will be. And
okay.
My question will make sense once I ask you. I was scrolling last night, and I'm wondering what the legalities are about someone else showing your show with people watching for an amounted period of time. I know it's good to have the information about Lily and Jack out there, but I just wondered, you know, if that causes your show, Dolly Vision, not have enough viewers because they're playing your show on their channel. Does that make sense?
Here's the thing. When people see good content, it don't matter where they see it at. So if they play my show, all they're doing is showing me to their viewers. So their viewers are going to be like, well, damn, who is this Dolly guy? Let me go check him out. He's getting the scoop, right? Or he knows what he's talking about. Or it could work opposite. They could be like, this dude's a fucking idiot. Make sure I don't sub him up, right? So
I just didn't know how the YouTube worked with legalities about copyright or anything like that, and that's why I wanted to ask you to make sure if someone was crossing your boundaries.
It depends.
You know.
If they're being, I don't copyright strike anybody anymore. Nobody, right? I used to in the beginning when I first started YouTube, and I'd be like, you know, these people, or, you know, I'm feeding these people. All they're doing is feeding off of me or copying me and then running with the hard work that I've put in. And it used to piss me off a little bit, but these days I really don't care. To me, it's just advertising my brand of true crime to the world. And, you know, they're going to eat off of me any way I look at it. So why be mad about it?
Okay, I was just protecting you
Okay,
and trying to
it's
protect.
fine.
I didn't know how it worked.
Yeah,
but I really,
mean, I do the same thing. I do the same thing. If something good comes out on a channel, I cover it too. So I can't be mad at
I just
people.
wanted to make sure and hear from your voice what your feelings about it were, and if you had copyrights, and you know, just to let you know what was going on and to protect your show.
The only time I don't like it is when people are using my content and shit talking me to do it. You know?
No, the show actually was when you had, I missed this show, but you had a relative of Daniel on, and that you were having a discussion on air about the case of Jack and Lily, and that's what they were showing, and they were, you know, a lot of people in the comments below were not, you know, because I didn't keep watching it because it was like me going through all the different programs about Jack and Lily. And so I just said, well, I want to hear this. And then I saw some comments and they weren't too good. And I thought, well, if that's, you know, that's all I wanted to say. That's why I called.
Oh, no big deal. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So to address that, to make it simple is, listen, if you out there and you share my video because it contains information that's related to something you're talking about, I don't have a problem with it. I do the same thing. You see that the girls from Canada, they put out that information with Daniel, and I was thinking, okay, this is vital information to what we're covering, and I went over it. They got a little mad at me at first, and then I guess they realized, hey, Dolly ain't such a bad guy. Let's don't be mad at Dolly. It's the way that internet works, okay? Because people want to get this story out. And if it's something that benefits the whole, they want to tell it. And, you know, listen, people are going to eat off your plate here a lot. It's going to happen. We're in the true crime community. We need to be a little more family than we actually are, right? And I'm probably the worst because I don't try to befriend people up here, right? Because to me, the most important thing to me is giving a voice to the voiceless, these kids. And if I feel like this is why I'm not so friendly to YouTubers, it's nothing personal against YouTubers. It's just, I feel like if I'm your friend, I have to side with you, right? And I don't want to side with anybody. I don't never want to be a kiss ass, all right? It's just something, it's nothing personal against anybody. Listen, I respect anybody that is real, that you come out here and you do this because you care. Now, if you come out here and do this shit for a paycheck, Dolly don't like you. All right. I didn't come here like that. I came here. I always tell people I didn't pick true crime. True crime picked me. You guys came and got me. I didn't come here and try to talk about missing kids. People brought this to me and I fell into this hole. Okay. If you could help me out, I'll go talk about fucking MMA fighting. Right. But I can't get out the hole. I'm too interested in true crime now. Right. It's my world, my whole world, my life. You know, let's think about this. The woman that I date now, I met through true crime. My channel is completely true crime. When she gets home, we're going to be talking true crime, right? My whole life became true crime and it changed my whole life. Okay. When people see somebody and go, well, they're successful, I'm going to copy them. And it's not really, if you are passionate about what you do and you enjoy what you do, it shows. And success will follow that if it's genuine, right? When you're fake, and listen, all you guys out there know there's fake people out here. All right. I'm not going to mention none of the names because I don't want to be hateful. I'm in a good mood today, so I'm going to be really nice to people that are not legitimate. They're 100% not legitimate. And they're covering the cases just like me, right? They're talking about it just like me. They're spreading awareness just like me. But you know what? They're not. They're not just like me. That's it. And I try to tell people that just pay attention to who you're watching and what their motives are. And that'll tell you a lot you know, about the creator that you're watching. And I know as a creator, it's not good to talk bad about other creators. It's not. It don't help you none. Okay. It don't help you none, because some of these people you guys may really enjoy. You may really enjoy their program. But there's one thing I want to tell you guys. I'm a real human being. If you meet me on the street, I am the exact same person that you talking to right here. There's no show. I'm a little bit louder here on YouTube, but far as being who I am, this is me. This is no show whatsoever. I don't come up here and put on a show. You get Dolly. Okay. And for the record, my name is not Dolly. Okay. Just that's a little weird to say it like that. Didn't say Dolly. Dolly's the name of my channel. So many people call me Dolly. I just go with it. Right. But my name is Jimmy. Okay. But Jimmy is the person you're going to meet. All right. I mean, it's the same person. Dolly, Jimmy, it's the same person. But if you meet me in a restaurant or you meet me on one of these true crime cases, anybody that has met me, anybody, even in this room, I'll tell you that I am exactly the same person. There's no difference between me here and me standing in your living room. Okay. I am the exact same guy. I don't fake nothing. This is real to me. Like, I joke and I play, but when it comes to these missing kids, this is 100%. I'm legit about wanting the answers for these kids. You know, just like a lot of you, I'm a parent. I couldn't imagine these things happening to me. And the only reason I'm here is to try to help, not to harm people or accuse parents of killing their babies or any of that. I only came here to do my part to try to help. And when I see people that are not here for those reasons, and it's just like, let me collect a check and sit at my desk, and I don't vibe with that. If you ain't grinding and you're not really trying, I have very little respect for you. And I'm a strong believer in real recognizes real. And if you can't, that's perfectly fine. I'm not here to tell you who's fake. And every now and then I will, because some of these people do shit that pisses me off. And I know that they're not genuine people. And I'll say things about them. And PJ all the time, don't even bother with it. But I feel like it's my job to let you guys know sometimes, right? Because, and I usually don't even say nothing about people unless I'm battling their people in here. Like, and when people come in here with this, some straight bullshit that some of these people have made up, right, for clicks and views, and then I got to argue with you about it, then it makes me feel like I got to address the creator that is doing it. All right. And that never ends well for me, because then people are like, Dolly, you jealous of this? No. This I ain't going to tell you something that I don't mean from my heart. Okay. If I say, even if I go on a rant inside, I believe that to be true. Okay. And there's a lot of good people in true crime. There's a lot of good people out here, but there's a few bad seeds, and some of those bad seeds can make all of us look bad. And that's how I feel about that whole situation. And if you share my content and you're being respectful and you're doing that to spread awareness about a missing kid, use all the content you want. All right. These days, like I said, I don't even strike the bad people. When people talk bad about me these days, I don't even watch it. I remember in the beginning, I don't think people understood me, and they made tons of hate videos, just hate video. And I kind of got sucked into a trauma kind of element of YouTube. I didn't understand it because I didn't know true crime well. Right. I didn't even know what trauma was. That's how naive I was to the shit. Right. And now I understand that. And all the people that used to attack me, I think they get me now. You don't never see any hate videos on me now. Right. These things have kind of went away. They get it. They're like, listen, we done hated on this dude, did everything
Dolly,
we
buy
could.
you a bologna sandwich. Love ya.
Buy me a bologna sandwich, right? They get it now, and they realize that, hey, this dude ain't going nowhere. He's passionate about what he does. And they've just kind of left me alone. You know, they just went on about their way, and they still mess with everybody else, but they don't so much mess with me anymore. You know, unless I poke the bear, right? And I don't tend to poke the bear these days. I'm like, I understand YouTube and how the game is played a lot better than I did in the beginning, you know, and I think everybody has their spot here. And if you're just an entertainer, that's fine, but don't fake and be something that you're not. That's what bothers me, right? That's the only thing that ruffles my feathers is when you fake as hell and then you sit there and pray with people, or you act like you're so good of a person. And I'll tell you, I'm an idiot. Okay. I don't claim to be a saint. When I see people that fake it, like, oh, let's say a little prayer together. And it's something about it just drives me crazy. It just drives me crazy. Like, I don't like fake preachers or preachers that, and this may, you know, some people may disagree with this. If you're a preacher and you own a mega church, your Kenneth Copeland's or your Joel Osteen's or your, you name it, I do not get down with it. Okay, listen, I know Jesus wants you to prosper. He wants you to do good in this world. He wants you to have the best life. I agree with that. But does he want you to have a $20 million mansion while you spit on a homeless person, or you not open your doors during a major fucking storm? Right? If you taking from the people and you ain't giving nothing back to the people, or you're not, let's just say you're taking from this true crime community and you ain't giving nothing back to the true crime community, it's the same to me. If you take and don't give, right? Nina just bought me another bologna sandwich. I'm doubling up, right? I'm getting a trifecta bologna sandwich tonight. And, you know, we try our best to help in this community. If it's going out and searching, or if it's, you know, buying Christmas gifts for people, or fucking paying people's rent, or whatever we can do to help, we've done that. Okay. And that don't everybody hit me up and be like, Dolly, will you pay my rent? Don't even think that. Don't even get that in your head. That's special occasions, right? When people need help. We've reached out and helped a lot of fucking people, but that don't mean start sending me your requests like I'm Santa Claus. All right. I don't want that to be mistaken. But we've always tried to help the true crime community. Just right now, they're sending my damn birth certificate. They were trying to send my birth certificate to Don and Candace Wells because I bought them dog food. We bought them like 140 pounds of dog food and had it FedEx to their house. So when FedEx got my birth certificate, they were going to send my birth certificate to the house, right? Expensive bologna, gold ring. And listen, I only like beef. I can't really eat bologna right now. I've been sticking to chicken and turkey because of the heart attack. So, but I do like bologna. Fried bologna with cheese. Listen, I ain't all bougie. I'm a real simple guy. I don't need much, right? Like a hamburger, and I can't really eat a lot of hamburgers. So occasionally I get a hamburger. But real simple person, you know, like before the heart attack, I was, you know, hot dogs, hamburgers, basic dude. I don't need nothing fancy. Like, you know, I'm just an average guy, right? So that was a long rant to explain people playing my fucking videos, right? You got me on tape. But yeah, guys, if you're out there on a true crime channel and I got something and you want to play it, feel free to play it. I ain't mad at you. I probably won't even know you done it unless people bring it to my attention. I'm so busy with YouTube that I don't get a lot of chance to watch what other people are saying anyway. Okay, it's very rare. Usually when I watch somebody now, it's kind of pointed out to me like, Dolly, something happened with the case and they talked about it on this channel. Then I'll go there, of course, and watch it. But as far as just sitting around watching true crime, I do so much true crime myself that when it comes time to watch something on YouTube, I'm watching stupid shit on YouTube. I'm not watching anything to do with true crime usually. Now, when I watch TV, that's a different story. I'm watching true crime shit on TV, Netflix documentaries, Next 48, Cops. I'm watching it just constantly. Okay, you like bologna with chips and cheese? That's okay. Did I make everybody hungry with the bologna sandwich? I was just talking about that because, you know, you got to pay taxes and you got to give YouTube 30%. You got to give the tax man 30%, right? So it don't really leave a lot, right? And people think that, here's one thing people perceive on YouTube. If you're a YouTuber, everybody thinks you're rich if you got a lot of subscribers, which, listen, I have almost, what, 70,000, 68,000. That ain't a lot. There's YouTubers up here that have like 3-5 million subscribers. Yeah, those are the YouTubers that are, you know, doing good. I'm on the bottom of the barrel. I feel like I just became a YouTuber where I can do it full time and pay the light bill. Okay. But there's people out here that are really, really successful on YouTube. Not quite me. All right. I'm basically right now a bottom feeder, but my plan is to slowly work my way up to the top of the water. Okay. I'm patient. It may take some time, but we can do it together. That's why I tell you guys to ring the bell, sub up, watch, all that good stuff. Anyone ever had fried spam with mustard? Now listen, I will eat fried spam if it's sliced real thin and fried really hard with eggs and grits, you know, breakfast stuff. But far as spam any other time, no. All right. Potted meat. I see that. I will eat potty meat, right, on a sandwich. I don't prefer it, but if that's the only thing to eat, I will eat it. That's what I'm saying. I could, you know, if I had $1 million, which I don't got $1 million, that's not wishful thinking. I wouldn't be no different than I am right here today. If I had $10, I wouldn't be no different. I might be a little hungrier, right? But I wouldn't be no different. I think I'm at an age where even if you was to give me $20 million, which don't think nobody's gonna give me $20 million. Don't get me wrong. I don't think I would change very much. Now I'm sure some things would change. Of course, I'd buy me a new car. I'd have probably a new house, but I think I would live in the same spot. I don't think I'd move. I just think I'd build me a nicer house where I'm at. So I don't think nothing much would change. I mean, if I did have great success, and I think that's the important thing. Now I'm going to get ready to get out of here because I got to go to the hardware store to finish getting some wood to build my tiki bar. I am doing a how-to video on building my tiki bar. All right. Tax purposes. You got to do a video when you start buying. That wood's expensive. So I'm trying to tie it all into, you know, YouTube expense. So I'm building tiki bar and I got the frame of it together. I'm going to be doing the sides and some of that tonight. And I got me and PJ, we went down to the beach and we got some pretty cool stuff to go with the tiki bar. So I want to start getting it together so I can use it this summer, right? I mean, 4th of July is coming. My birthday's coming. I want to have everything in the backyard kind of done before then. I've been working a lot on that. That's why I haven't been as live as much, is because I've been working on the yard. And like I said, Daniel and them, listen, you ain't got to be a millionaire, but you can also go out and clean your damn yard. You know, you can take care of the things you do have. And if you let things go and you never fix anything or never do anything, it's going to go to shit. And you look at their trailer, and that's kind of what they done. They should have got out there and cleaned that yard up. And especially if you're working one day a week, Dolly, you need sponsors. You know, I've thought about that. It's a matter of finding the right sponsors. Hello? Okay. Well, I'll play that when I come back later tonight. Okay. So what, she wanted to dress like a Catholic schoolgirl? Okay. All right. I'll see you soon. All right, bye. Okay. Producer, I thought I did something wrong. Apparently I didn't. I'm good. So like I was saying, I've been trying to get everything together, and like with Daniel working 1 day a week, he had plenty of time to get out there and clean up the outside of that trailer. Right? Like I've been, spacing my time out, go work on the yard, pick up the yard, cut the grass, building things. Because, when you're doing construction, there's a lot of shit to clean up, because when I start cutting wood, I got to clean up all the other wood and bricks, and I'm digging holes and, for little footers and things like that. So I've been staying pretty busy, and it don't cost you nothing to clean your yard. All right. It's free. You can go outside right now and plant some flowers, clean the yard. So that way you don't look like you live in a trap house. Okay. I think your neighbors will appreciate it. Sell merch on Beats Dolly. Oh, and people were talking about sponsors. Like, I just don't know. Like, I don't want to turn Dolly Vision into a commercial. All right. A lot of podcasters do that. Today's video is brought to you by Poop and Scoop, right? I don't know if I really want to do that, especially seeing that we have our own little business, the Dolly merch line, the soaps, the lotions. We kind of sponsor ourselves, and you guys have been great about, picking up soaps and lotions and things like that. So it would help the channel a lot, but, do we want to sell something here or push something that we're not really confident in? And then it kind of makes you out to be like a used car salesman. You be up here selling damn Viagra and all my viewers are women. Yeah, I don't know. I just, Blue Chew is like all the commercials you get up here and shit. Manscaped. I don't know about that. You guys donate, y'all help the channel, y'all keep it alive. It's not the biggest, but we're surviving. Okay. So with that said, I think we just keep pushing the route we push. And then when the right things come along, we'll know the right things. If it don't have anything to do with true crime and, missing kids, I really don't want to push it, and I'm thinking about looking into some sponsors, but sponsors that will help us further our searches for missing people. Like, a four-wheeler sponsor, if we could, Honda or something that want to, we need things like that. We need people that are going to help push. Now, if you own a business out there and you want to sponsor, then we could do something like that. Plug your business and to help get the things we need to search for missing people. That's my only concern here. And there's still like a few small things we need. We need a boat with the radars, and we need a four-wheeler and ramps and the way I tow it. But after that, we pretty much have put everything else in place to search and to follow these cases. So once we have those last few things, we're pretty much good to go. And it's just a matter then of paying the damn light bill. All right. And soon I'll have my birth certificate, everything for my passport. So not only in the United States, but if a kid goes missing anywhere and we can help and we have the means to be there, I'll be there. Nina, thank you so much. Thank you guys for everybody supported, everybody that liked the video today, everybody that came and hung out with me. I will see you guys tonight for my show around 10 o'clock, 10:30ish. I'm going to be working on the Tiki Bar for a while, but as soon as I'm done with that, I'll come back live. We're going to go over some of the new updates in the Claire Bell situation. Anything else comes out in the Jack and Lily situation. And I will be posting the videos of the caller solo so they don't have to watch a 3-hour show to get the calls. Okay, because if this information is legit, let's let it spread. Hopefully there's some answers for Jack and Lily. I love you guys. I'll see y'all later tonight. Peace.